This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
Welcome, everybody, to the H3 podcast with a very, very special guest. In town for VidCon is your boy, Boogie.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I am actually here for this podcast. VidCon's like the last thing I'm doing. Now, I'll be honest with you. When we were playing at VidCon this year, you mentioned the podcast to me like 6 months ago and said you want to be on it. And like the next time I'm in LA, but that's the entire thing I thought the whole time. And I was afraid to approach you. I was like, I'm going to DM and just demand to be on it. But I'm like, well, I know he's busy. I know it's like, you got SoFlo this Friday, isn't it?
Steve-O this Friday, SoFlo next Friday.
Right, so you got like a packed schedule anyway.
And then we can fit you in anytime.
Well, not a lot of people can. I'm a big guy. I don't know if your listeners know that, but I happen to be a little extra wide.
We got all the space you need, buddy.
Yep.
Well, for me, it's like I know you don't get the opportunity to come out to LA free. Although you have been traveling more.
Well,
lately.
we've been trying to, but this body does not like it very much anymore. It started to, it's been a downhill battle. I'd like to say uphill battle, but it's been a downhill battle over the last couple of years with diabetes getting worse, blood pressure getting worse, and everything else. So it's difficult to even really leave the house anymore. This busted out back, these busted knees and stuff like that.
Wow.
But we push it to its absolute limits, and we try to come out to LA at least twice a year, at least for the Game Awards and at least for VidCon. I think now I don't know if your listeners know this, but I'm scheduled for gastric bypass on July 25th.
Yeah,
and it was a 3-year process to qualify.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so we had to lose a ton of weight to get down to an ideal weight.
So when you decided that you wanted the gastric bypass surgery, how much weight did you need to lose since then?
When I knew that I was going to, when I finally came to terms with the fact that I would need gastric bypass, that was 13 years ago.
Wow.
Oh shit!
But then, financially, I couldn't afford it to begin with.
How much is it?
13 years ago, you're talking $50,000, $60,000, right? And that's just absurd. And I couldn't get insurance, and the only work I could get was part time, and generally that's through nepotism, through friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So people don't want to put me on their health insurance. That's crazy, right?
Right.
And so I knew that was the first step, and to finally get enough money in the bank to be able to pay for it. So the doctor I'm working with, if you're living in the Northwest Arkansas region, Dr. Perner is an amazing doctor.
Shout out.
He managed to cut me a really nice deal. It's right under $20,000, and it's all out of pocket.
Do you have health insurance?
I do. We bought the best possible package Arkansas offers, but they don't want to pay for that surgery. They consider it to be a cosmetic surgery, which sounds like lunacy to me because it will save them millions. If they were doing that surgery, pay $18,000 to keep me from having a stroke or a heart attack.
Yeah.
And how much is that going to cost you?
Well,
right. But but politics aside, then my biggest I was 600 pounds. I was just right under 600 pounds, and then I've got down to 500, and then went back up to 560, and then back down to 500, and then back up to 550, and then back down to 500. And I managed to trend downwards on average, but it's that yo-yo thing. A lot of people my size tend to do that.
Just like with how what life throws at you, sometimes you just. I mean, I know that feeling on a micro level.
Right.
I have a little bit of a fat guy disease, I always think, because Hila doesn't care about food. But I get it in my mind, when I need a fucking cheeseburger or I need to eat some shit and I don't have that self-control. Hila doesn't care about food, but for me it is kind of, I guess it's kind of therapeutic.
I will tell you now. This one I want to confront you with right away. You've called yourself the Fupa King of YouTube. Are you kidding me, dude? Let me tell you something. You ain't got nothing on me. Listen,
You're a Fupa god.
I haven't seen my dick in so long, Ethan, that I could have it declared legally dead. Do you understand? Okay, listen to me. I was taking a piss the other day. And which is, by the way, all guesswork. I'm sorry for what I did to your bathroom before the show, but listen, I heard a clink of glass hitting porcelain, and I'm like, what? Did I just pass a kidney stone? Took a step back, looked in the toilet. There's a tiny little bottle. Scooped it out. Inside the tiny little bottle was a tiny little note. And the note said, "Dear Steve, please send pussy. Sincerely, your prick. So I know he's out there.
This is SOS.
Right. He's like, please, somebody send help.
That's fucking hilarious.
Sorry.
I'm not at that level yet, but I'm not that many cheeseburgers away from never seeing my dick again, too.
I don't know. I see now. I'm self-conscious of other people's weight, so I watched you. You've been slimming down a little bit, man.
Yeah.
But it's
And
like you were saying.
Good. It's looking good.
Well,
You're
here,
looking good.
It's like you were saying. I lost like 25 pounds
Right.
in a month, and then I got sick, and I just like lost all fucking. I was just like, I'm sick. I didn't eat for a week. Fuck this. And then that was like a month ago, and I've been putting on weight since. I probably gained like 5 pounds back.
And that's like
But that's what
everybody does, right? And that's the biggest problem. Once you get big, it's so hard to not be big.
Yeah.
And like you'll see people who hit these record weight losses. I have a friend whose name I'm never supposed to mention, but he was on a television show, Extreme Makeover Weight Loss Edition, right? And he ended up on the show, and he ended up losing a dramatic amount of weight, like record amounts of weight, hundreds. Putting, I think, one of the most record losses, just period, ever in a year. And of course, like every other contestant that you read about on Biggest Loser, every other contestant, he gets home and puts half that weight back on.
Oh, yeah.
Or in some cases, people put all of that weight back on. Or even some cases, they put another 100 or 200. And like that's one of the reasons I am getting the surgery is because I want to be an advocate for it. Because for a lot of people, if somebody's like, 50 pounds overweight like you are, maybe 75 pounds overweight.
Jesus, no.
That, when somebody's like that's that big, are you not, how overweight are you?
Probably like, I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, I don't know. But I would imagine you're probably your biggest 50 pounds over your ideal weight.
I'm probably about 30.
Okay, well, there you go.
God
right?
damn, dog.
Well, I don't know, man.
I'm just
The
kidding.
camera
I'm totally
adds.
just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
totally-
tell you, this is something I don't think anybody will realize until you get here. I did not realize exactly how tiny you guys actually are. You're tiny. Now that's obviously
Hila's tiny.
Consider the source.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm always amazed when I see somebody.
I
from
feel like a
YouTube.
monster.
No, but
Just for the record.
we hear it a lot about Ethan because he always exaggerates when he's on.
Yeah.
Well, that stance,
Literally-
is that one stance, the
the-
foot back, foot forward is so good.
I mean,
so good.
The one thing I consistently hear when I meet people for the first time is one, you're skinnier than I thought, and then the other one is that I think you're. I think that's it.
I think
That's all.
that's it.
That's it.
But you're
all there is.
sexy fat.
And
sexy
you're
fat.
not as funny as I thought.
No.
People constantly stop me after hanging out with me for 10 minutes and say, "You're really not as funny as I thought."
I never thought you were funny, man.
That's good.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
I
You don't
want
have to worry
more.
about it.
I want more
By the
fans
way,
like that.
you should do a proper introduction.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
well, it's
Because
Boogie.
we just
What's
got,
up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube?
Right.
Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. Today, now I want to talk to you a little bit about my friends Ethan and Hila Klein.
Whose show is this?
Sorry, I'm taking over.
The hell?
Wait,
So,
hold on, wait.
So,
Hey guys,
There you
what's
go.
up? It's me, Francis, and this is actually my real voice. The Boogie character is your character.
No, do your introduction.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Do a proper introduction.
Well, I mean, you need no intro.
yeah.
Boogie2988. He's a legend of YouTube. He's been around forever. He's a fucking legend, and I think everybody, your reputation exceeds you.
Proceeds?
Proceeds.
Probably exceeds me, honestly.
Proceeds. Probably proceeds.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of the seeds. It's seeding something. And then, of course,
If-
Hila Klein.
If in case that you don't know him, check out his channel. Boogie
Yeah, of course.
2988.
No, he's a legend. I mean,
Oh, and I do Twitch too. For the people watching on Twitch who don't know.
Oh, yeah, you
I
play
do Twitch
Overwatch
5
this
nights a
summer.
week, and I will tell you. Let's talk about something. By the way, I'm glad to see you finally coming over to Twitch. But where were you 4 years ago when I was telling everybody the adpocalypse is coming?
Shit, 4 years ago?
Diversify where your
4
where
years
your
ago,
content is
we
going.
weren't really on YouTube, to be honest.
I guess
That's true.
Has
We
it been
were
that short of a time?
We were making like
Like-
$100 a month on YouTube 4 years ago.
Yeah, like 4 years ago, we were uploading some, but we weren't like doing YouTube. You know what I mean?
that's
Dude, you want to see what we were uploading 4 years ago?
I
It-
swear I've seen it.
It was like it was my art projects basically.
Let me show you what we were
If
doing
you
4
can
years
call
ago.
Well, it's
that.
funny because I was saying I think I've been following you now. I guess the majority of your career.
Shit. So
Shit.
that was so embarrassing. I'm sorry.
But like I said, I think I've been following you guys since I saw you on Reddit the first time, and I don't know if it was your first time on like /r/videos, but I mean, we binge watch everything. We have my friends over every Saturday night, and
That's
we
crazy.
tend to binge watch YouTube a little bit. And Eric from Comment Etiquette is
that
like
guy.
one of our top
Oh, yeah.
of the list. A bit of
Yeah.
Jack's films back when he's doing
Love him.
the grammar. Your grammar sucks. And then a I'm like, well, let's check out these guys. And man,
so
we watched you
awesome.
guys
Oh, yeah.
for 4 straight hours.
That's
and
so
every
sick.
Saturday night that we just kept coming back until we watched your entire
That's
catalog.
crazy.
Dude.
And we've followed you ever since.
It must
been
be,
crazy.
isn't it crazy when you hear that? I mean, it must be the same for you. When you hear that people actually sit at home and watch your videos.
What's insane to
It's
me,
pretty wild.
It's so.
what's insane to me is that
wild.
actual, like, that you guys even know who I am, or what
are you talking about?
I'm just
I
saying.
have a good story for you.
Okay, I have to hear. But I'm saying, like, when you create on YouTube, and I live in Arkansas, right? I don't have the New York connection. I have the LA connection, right? And I'm a recluse. I've always been a recluse. I spent 7 years as a shut-in once, man. I don't generally like people very much, and my wife really brought me out of that shell completely. But I've always been good with people, but that was just like, I was good at getting away from people, like keeping people at arm's length. And so I create in this like vacuum, right? And you get all that negative stuff. I get a lot of negative stuff. Because of my size, because of my opinions sometimes. A lot of the Xbox kids hate me because I like PlayStation or vice versa, you know. And
That's the real hate.
that stuff like gets into your head, you know.
Oh, yeah,
And
no,
I have an
I get it
anxiety
too,
disorder,
man.
so it exacerbates, and I go crazy. And then I come to something like VidCon, and then I get to meet creators like you, who I'm watching every day, and I respect, like you can't imagine. Like last year, I had dinner with Bernie Burns, and I've been watching Bernie Burns since
Yeah, I met him
Red
recently.
versus Blue in 1998
Really-
or whatever.
really
right?
cool guy.
Like we were streaming Red versus Blue in 240p, walking around quoting that in the late 90s, I guess, or maybe early 2000s. And it's insane when the people that you love and respect and watch every day love and respect you. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
to be in this room is just mind-boggling to me. It's
Well,
just
let me
insane.
put it in perspective for you, okay? Because when one of the, it's almost embarrassing, or it's not really embarrassing, but it just gives you some idea of like where everyone starts. We started in Israel, and it's also just such an awesome thing about YouTube is that you can do it
You can
anywhere.
do it anywhere.
Yeah.
I remember the reason that I really went after YouTube. I was watching Jimmy Kimmel, and he was saying some shit about how if you make good stuff in this day and age, because traditionally it was like you had to know somebody, you had to have somewhere to send your shit, you had to suck somebody's dick.
Yep.
He's like, these days with YouTube, if you make good stuff and just put it on the internet, people will watch it.
Yep.
And I was like, damn, that struck me. So I decided I want to do YouTube. Because I didn't have any connections or anything, but I knew I wanted to be in entertainment. Anyway,
I love your early work, by the way. The earlier joke,
That
the
shit
earlier
is
Goose and
weird.
Gas is so weird, man.
is really
It's very
weird.
different. I love watching you grow into yourself, but really, this is
Shell.
the story, right?
Shell.
To
Yeah,
beat
she's
the
the
ages,
best.
right? Like, it's insane to watch you become. You know, I thought for sure you were just gonna be like over in the corner when I walked in here today, and she walked right up, gave me a hug. I'm like, oh my god, I'm hugging you. It's amazing having watched you just, because I mean, you were so uncomfortable in the front of the camera, and I
Oh, yeah.
could tell he was
Yeah.
making you do it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, should I call like spousal services to make sure she's not like
Couple
being
of times,
forced
came
to
close.
do this, right?
now she's happy. This is
Thank
for your
you.
own good.
Yeah.
Thank you. That means a lot.
No, well, we do love you. I think I speak for everybody when we say that.
Well,
Absolutely.
Hila, people don't care about me anymore. It's all about the
No,
Hila Kleiners.
no,
I'm
I'm
like,
definitely a
do I
Hila
even
Kleiner
need to
now.
be here?
Yeah.
Hila Kleiner for
No,
life.
but yeah, I was saying, I think before we like officially started the stream, I was telling you that it's daily for me. Like I'm still.
Yeah.
I can't even watch myself. It's really hard to.
By the way, me too. I have anxiety.
Yeah.
I have fucking a lot of trouble sometimes. Like it's not,
We're just
everyone
a room
has.
full of neurotic people
Yes.
right now. This is awesome.
Everyone's, but I feel like everyone's neurotic to a certain extent. It's just, I feel like I'm pretty neurotic, to be honest.
I will say, because of the nature of what I talk about on YouTube, and for the people who are listening to know me very well, I do like a bunch of stupid comedy stuff with the Francis character, and I talk about video games a lot. But every once in a while, I dip down into the personal stuff. And, you know, there's a period of time in life where I was suicidal, so I talked about that on YouTube, and I get a ton of letters because of that. People, you know, I have some really good stories and some really bad stories. You know, I won't bore you with too many of them, but then I talk about, you know, what it's like to be a big guy, and there's a lot of big people out there right now struggling with their weight. By the way, I'm not a health at any sizer. I think that's one of the biggest bullshit scams in the world. You can be healthy at any size for a little while, but that eventually does catch up. That bill becomes due, by the way, kids.
Yeah.
You know, and when I got on YouTube, I wanted to serve as, at the very least, as a bad example. Hey, don't do what I did, people, because I am miserable. That was my original plan. But when it comes to the anxiety, I lost track of the point I was going to make there.
We were talking about we're all neurotic.
Right, it was there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the number of YouTubers who will open up to me when I get that 5 minutes with us at
Interesting.
VidCon, And obviously, I'm not going to betray anybody's trust.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like, they'll say, oh, I saw that video and it hit me because I've had suicidal tendencies or I've had
Dude, I've been there,
depression,
kind
or
of.
I've had anxiety, right?
I'll talk about it. I want to talk about it. I think it's interesting so people know that we're all humans.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I will tell you, I genuinely believe that there's not a YouTuber in the world that publishes a video and goes, I'm very satisfied with that. I don't think
Maybe
they
once.
exist,
I think
right?
it happened maybe once or
And
twice in the history of
I
our
think-
catalog.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it doesn't exist. Like,
Usually it's
There's
like
no such
it's like
thing.
fuck. Usually when we post a video, it's like fuck this. I can't work on this any longer. I need this out of my life. I need this out of my life right now.
I've been.
it's like, yeah.
I created my account in 2006, and I started making videos at the end of 2008-ish. Right. I started making videos about 2008-ish, and then around 2010 is where I started taking it serious. I met my wife, or met the girl who's going to become my wife, and I'm like, man, I need to like not just screw around on this thing. I need to see if I can make something of it. But I've never been satisfied with my work and never like anything I've ever done. Every time I put it out into the world, I'm like, this is it. I've ruined everything. That video
how
will
I
end
feel.
the career.
Yeah.
And my wife, God love her,
That's so funny.
she has to endure this once every 3 months because I mean you know now. Of course, you've had a meteoric rise, so certainly you probably don't know. I watched your YouTube stats go boom, like it's just a.
We have like plateaus and strikes, strikes and gutters.
Well, I've always had that up,
Yeah.
down.
Dude, I
up,
checked your
down,
social
right?
blade. I cannot fucking believe how like you've chugged along because you hit 4 million
Yeah.
subscribers,
Yeah.
and that's over the course of like 7 years of
Yep.
just like steady grinding.
Right.
That is super respectable, dude.
Well, I have a history in web design and search engine optimization. So every once in a while, the algorithm will have a new problem with my channel. They'll have a problem with the way that I'm uploading, the frequency that I'm uploading, or the topics that I'm talking about, and I have to completely reinvent myself. But I'm pretty good at figuring out an algorithm and pretty good at figuring out what they need to deliver my videos still.
Isn't that fucked up about YouTube that you're not like, hey, do people like my videos?
No, it's not.
It's all about like,
Does
is
the
YouTube trying to kill
algorithm
my
like-
channel this week?
Does the algorithm like
By
my
the way,
videos?
and just people, I'm afraid when I talk about the algorithm killing my channel, people are gonna think I'm like a whiny conspiracy theorist. This shit is realer.
It's real.
Oh, it's so real.
So real.
And the worst part about it is when you talk to a Google engineer every once in a while, and I have several things. You know, I got hacked at VidCon last year.
Yeah.
And so I got to really get to know the Google engineer team.
Yeah.
The one engineer by the name of Jeff, if you're listening, hi. He took his day off at VidCon to sat down with me for 4.5 hours to restore as much as he could. And it still took 2
Fucking
weeks
nightmare.
to get everything back together to where I could re-upload and everything. But that, during that process, we talked about all kinds of stuff. And then I talked to some of the other YouTubers that are connected as well, and obviously won't betray any names or anything like that, name drop, but they'll talk about the algorithm. And the guys over
Scary.
at YouTube, they know, right? But the way Google seems to operate, based on what I've heard secondhand, or the way YouTube seems to operate, is the same way that Google operates. There's not a lot of there's not just one boss. And everybody kind of works in these little pods. And so my friend Jeff worked for the notification team. And I'm like, well, who's your boss? He's kind of like, well, kind of, I don't know. It's like squirrely about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
they
so,
don't talk about the inner workings at all. They're
Right.
super secretive.
And
like
so-
every time I've spoken to a Google employee, they'll be like, you can't ever say this publicly. This is
Right.
strictly
Yep.
confidential. And then they'll say something that's not even interesting. And I'm like, what the fuck? Tell me the good shit.
But it appears that it's just like one hand never knows what the other hand is doing. And so
That's entirely possible, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we all break off in our own little pods, and like someone came up with the idea of the notification idea. That wasn't like handed down from Susan or something. That's just somebody came up with, and so
Right.
they went and built it, then showed it to their boss, and that boss is like, "Well, install it on the website. Let's see what happens."
Yeah.
And so since they're just pushing out new code in different times, at different places, even they don't really know what's going to happen, and they know that we get tore up, right? But they also know the resilient ones will find a way.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Well, it's all
Yeah.
about money. I mean, that's not exactly true, I think, of what I've understood. But the thing is that I learned from talking to the engineers, I don't think this is confidential. It's not. But it's all like machine learning. So a lot of times what I learned, which actually
algorithm.
shocked me, is that they don't even know what's happening. Because the algorithm is machine learning, and it's constantly tweaking itself. There's no longer, the engineers aren't even involved at this point. They just like check up on it periodically to try to understand what it's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people there actually don't even understand what's happening.
Which is such a shame because when Google was brand new, and I was doing that web design. I started out doing just like silly fan pages on like Angel Fire, and I know nobody knows what that is except the guy who ran it.
Hell yeah,
GeoCities, you remember?
Fuck yeah.
And eventually I discovered, like I started designing for clients with just basic HTML, and then eventually like they opened that up to India, and there's so many skilled coders in India. They were more skilled than me. They were willing to work for a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
So I couldn't compete. So I worked on search engine optimization, and I realized that all these little stupid pages that I created, I could figure out which ones are getting to the top of Google searches, then sell that information. And they would only update the algorithm every 3 months. So I'd crack it 2 weeks in to push it out to my clients, and they'd all pitch back $1,000 for the information.
This was pre-YouTube?
This is right. This is what was
this?
This
Was
10
the
years pre-YouTube.
Black Hat CEO.
Talking 97, 98, right?
Wow.
But then they started like rotating algorithms, and so you never knew what was going to be active that day. So I could sell you the key to one algorithm, but it didn't mean anything. You get a fraction
What
of
does
the
that
views
mean,
from
sell
it.
the key to an algorithm?
So basically, it would weight different things at different times. So today we're looking at this parameter or that parameter. Today we're looking for these particular keywords at higher, or we're parsing this particular part of the language differently, or we're looking for words in headers, or we're looking for words in bold, or we're looking for bolds in tables. Now we're looking at tables. And so you could figure out what specifically Google was higher ranking at that period of time.
But how did you make money? Like
you just find somebody who wanted that information who's
selling
currently
that
designing.
Oh, you were
information.
just giving information.
So I
You
was
weren't
just
like
the
selling
middleman, right?
links
I was
on
like,
your site.
right,
So
so I'm
you
like-
know, like something's going to be trending tomorrow,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So you buy that.
Or more specifically, the way
information.
that you would format the web page is specifically what I would be selling. And so I would figure out very quickly that all of the pages that I had that had tables built in, that one was performing well, while the pages that had frames built in,
So
that was not performing. And so I
Interesting.
could push out to those people.
So back
right,
then, it was even more like web page
it was
optimization.
exactly right. And so it translates a little bit to YouTube.
Oh yeah,
but
same
not,
people, same
yeah.
algorithm.
I'm no Matt Pat from Game Theorist. That guy is, I don't know, he is insane when it comes to like the YouTube algorithm and stuff like
Really?
that. I went to a small convention. I go to it every year called Retropalooza. It's in Texas, and I mean it's real small. It's the Game Chasers. I know nobody probably knows them that well, but they're just a great group of people, and they're just fun to party with. So I go down to it, and one year they got Matt Pat from the Game Theorist to come, which is like a super weird. Number one, I normally headline that thing, so I was mad Matt was there. But secondly, this young lady in the audience, she says, I'm having some trouble on YouTube trying to get my stuff seen, and I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. And so can you help me with that? And I'm thinking she wants that normal inspirational answer, like, you know, be consistent and stay true to yourself.
Make content.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, make content that people will engage with.
Yeah.
Try to figure out what your viral is going to be, and do what, but that's not Matt. That's not Matt. Matt is like, all right, so do you have a pen and paper? Let's start talking about the header. All right, so in the title of the video, you need to include at least 6 to 8 keywords. Now, in the description section.
I don't
now,
believe in that shit anymore.
Can we talk about the tags? All right, now here's the thing. Nobody realizes this yet, but the algorithm now looks at your thumbnails. And I'm like, what?
Oh, this must have been a while ago.
It was
Interesting.
30 minutes. 30 minutes
just the best shit
of him
ever.
just reading her the Google playbook. Like
He's actually a really nice guy.
I gotta
the one
say,
nice
You know what he
people
reminds me
met.
of?
Ethan is also like that, so it would be funny
I'm
to
pretty
see them
autistic
like
when it comes to that.
see,
I'm obsessed
like,
with it.
Ethan versus Matt.
The thing is, okay, dude, I've been trying to understand that shit for a long time. I think we've come to the point though where thumbnail title definitely matters, but not in terms of getting suggested. All that matters is, hey, are you going to get monetized?
Right.
Yeah.
The algorithm is now just basically a game of, can this video roll ads or not?
Yep.
The suggestions is a total shit show. Like, it's just based on, I think, like your click-through rate, which that information is not available to us.
No.
And it's
And impressions. I mean, like, how, as a search engine optimization guy, I bet we're bored, like a lot of your audience right now.
No,
but
I
as
think
a
this
search
is
engine
fascinating,
optimization
yeah.
guy, impressions. How many people saw the page? How many people saw the thumbnail? How many people
So,
offered the link? If
yeah.
I don't have that information, I can't figure out the click-through rate. I can't
Well, they
figure out
don't
how
tell you-
people
yeah.
engage, and they won't tell me how many times people.
That's why they don't tell you, because that's the real
Right.
missing piece to the equation. Click-through rate is probably the single most important factor. And, they don't tell you that because they don't want you clickbaiting, but it's like, people are
Right.
going to fucking
Exactly.
clickbait. It's kind of, and so basically, if you've got a video on the sidebar and it's getting clicked more. They do a test on every video, right? This is my theory. I don't know this. So they'll show you for like 1,000 views, and if nobody clicks it, then you go away.
Right.
And there's like new rounds. I feel like every like 10,000 views, depending on how many views you're getting. So it'll reassess your video every 10,000 views and see what's the click-through rate on the sidebar on this suggested.
Right.
And it just keeps going and keeps going, and then that's how you get some videos with like 50 million views. Just from being spammed. You ever been suggested a video so much it like follows you everywhere?
There was a video
YouTube's
that
like begging you to watch
unanimously
it.
was on every video I created for a year, and it was it had like 93 million views.
Yep.
And it was a 1 minute long video of an 8-year-old child swimming underwater. And it was every video I created that got recommended.
Number one
and
suggested.
I know why. It's because my number one most viewed video is me falling
in the
backwards
pool.
into
Yes.
a pool.
Yeah.
And so they're like, that must be what they want. And 98 million
So
people had clicked on it.
it must have the most insane click-through rate. For
Right.
whatever reason, people are clicking the shit out of that. Otherwise, YouTube wouldn't show it. So it's on one hand, it's all about that click-through rate. And then the other, like, it used to be tags, it used to be description. That shit doesn't matter at all. Tags is just, they're just a dupe to tags.
Demonetize
Yeah,
you.
it's it. Casey
I think you're right. I think
Casey
you're right.
Neistat doesn't use tags.
Really?
He doesn't use any tags, and he hasn't for years. And that guy's in trending every other day. That's a
always
whole
wa-
other conspiracy, by the way. But, like, so they don't use... Tags is literally just entrapment.
Well, I've thought that it can serve as a positive thing in that, like if I talk about a video game, I'll always include PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox X, One X, Xbox One S, Nintendo Switch, those keywords.
Yeah.
Because I think the advertiser
Sorry,
bots...
one sec. Ela, you don't have a... Maybe you should get it, because people are saying volume up.
Get what?
How's the volume out there, Carlos? Okay, so never mind. I'm getting trolled. No worries.
Okay, good. But I think that the advertiser bot does look at that for choosing what ads will get displayed if
So
you don't
That
manually
I
trigger. Is that-
dispute. I dispute.
Do you think that's wrong?
I think
Okay.
right now all that
know.
matters is the title and the thumbnail.
Probably.
If you have Xbox in the title, that's probably 99%.
That makes sense.
I think tags are literally because people stuff the fuck out of tags forever. I genuinely think they only ever think about that when you put stuff that negatively affects you.
I think you're right.
If you put tits or sex or fuck or some stupid ass shit,
Right.
then they're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Thanks for the signal," right?
Right.
So at this point, it's like really intricate, weird machine learning things, but mostly it's just about engagement /
I
click
have
through
a
rate.
certain amount of survival guilt because, let's see, this time last year, I had gotten really frustrated with the face of YouTube, and I knew like you were talking about like YouTube drama to an extent, but not like maybe like a Keemstar kind of level of thing. And Keem was doing it, but he's doing it in this Keemstar kind of way, which I don't think appeals to everybody. I've always liked DeFranco's way of approaching stuff. Like DeFranco, I think, kind of a man crush for me. He knows that now. But I love the way he's very, very neutral down the middle about a topic when he presents it and then delivers his opinion. And I thought, nobody's doing that for YouTube drama. And I thought, man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be that guy. And I got a lot of praise from people I really liked. But I made a video about Toby Turner. And that video did not set well with me, like to perpetrate what was going on with Toby. And I'm like, man, that's
Well,
really...
what was your angle? Were
Well,
you
it was just
talking
basically
about
to talk about what DeFranco had said,
Right.
to say what Toby had said in his own defense, and then to just kind of
Just
go
an
down the
overview.
middle. Right. Just this is what DeFranco said. This is what Toby has said. This is what the rumor mill says. I don't really know. And then my personal opinion was I feel bad for the guy, because it's easy to
I
get
felt
into a
bad for
cycle
him.
like that.
Yeah, I felt
And
bad
like,
for
let's
him.
just all give him a little bit of love and let's see if we can help him figure it out. But it still didn't set well with
So
me.
why didn't it sit well?
Because I felt like, what if Toby saw that, right? Like, he didn't know who I am. I saw him at VidCon the year before, and he didn't know me from Adam. So, but I'm thinking, what if he saw that? And
So?
then I couldn't, I don't know.
Did you say? It seemed like it was pretty positive.
Right, but even then, the anxiety kind of got to me a little bit. And so the next video I made was about Matthew Santoro, who I've talked to off and on for years. And it was
Met
when
him.
he got claimed for plagiarism, right?
Yep. I remember that.
And so I talked about, the transformative nature of taking a list and making it into a video, which is very transformative, right? And even if it was using that base list almost verbatim in a court of law, that might very well stand up as transformative. And the only real angle they would have when it comes to fair use would be attacking the fact that it destroys the value of the original list.
No, I don't think it was ever at risk for being a copyright infringement. It was just like of like, oh man,
Right,
you're
just kinda
fucking
crass.
stole
Like
the shit.
tasteless.
But that
Yeah,
was
tasteless.
that's how Reddit took it for a little while. Is that
That's ridiculous.
This is like right.
Yeah.
And so like tried to dispute that it was not ever a fair use issue.
Yeah,
it was just kind of a
moral
shitty thing
issue.
to do,
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
And
Yeah.
so I made that video, and then I'm like, man, me and Matt have talked off and on about some real private stuff. What if he sees that video?
Dude, I remember you were talking about drama back in the
Yeah.
day, or
And then
not even drama, but topical issues.
Right.
And then there was a thing where you removed a bunch of the videos, right?
Right.
And you were like,
Is
I'm
that
gonna
around that
stop.
time?
So a friend, a mentor, I'll go as far as a mentor, John Bain, Total Biscuit,
Yeah.
messaged me on Skype one night, and he's just like, hey man, are you doing okay? And it was after I made that video where I was talking about the anxiety that I was getting from those videos. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't feel so good about what I'm doing. He goes, well, here's the thing, man. If something happens in my life, are you going to make a video about it? What about Dodger? What about Jesse? You know, because we've talked about that.
Okay, you know
I'm like,
what?
I'm like,
It's-
you know,
Total Biscuit has a weird thing about drama.
Right.
He's the one person who's always consistently like, he had this big conspiracy that everyone got blacklisted because of drama channels, and like,
right, which I don't
think-
know if I agree with that.
I don't. But here's my take.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you don't mind, that was enough to where it pushed my anxiety off the edge, and I'm like, you know what? I can make content that isn't this, and you know what? I'm gonna feel a lot better about myself. I'm gonna feel a lot more comfortable with what I'm doing. Like, let's get back to the roots. Let's get back to the gaming. Let's get back to that stuff. We'll let the experts do that, right? And then when the apocalypse hits, my income drops 20%.
I barely dropped.
Right.
Is
And,
what
like,
you mean?
at
Or
the-
dropped
right.
too?
It dropped. The YouTube portion of my income dropped about 20 to 30%. Its peak was about half what it normally be, and it's right now about 60 or 70% what it was last year. And so I had like this survivor's
Wait, it went
guilt.
down?
Yeah, it went down. Mine dropped. Of course, everybody's dropped, right?
No, but wait, I'm just trying to understand. So when it first hit, you dropped 20.
I dropped like 20, then it
And
got
now
all
at
the way
this
down to
point
50
it's-
after about 3 weeks, and now I'm back up to about 30% what I earned last year. On a
Okay,
CPM
okay.
Back
basis.
up now.
It was like
Okay.
70% of
Got
what I
it,
earned
got
last
it,
year,
got
right? And I might eventually be back to where I was,
Yeah.
you know, with the algorithm continue to learn and the content I'm creating. But I keep thinking, man, like I dodged a bullet there by deciding to clean up my
I don't
content,
think
and
so.
I feel kind of bad about it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
really.
don't think so.
I don't think that's what happened at all.
You know?
No.
Well, good. Make me feel better about it. Then tell me.
Not at all.
Tell me, what do you think happened?
Well, first of all, I feel like you're always trying to like find reasons to make yourself feel bad. I've been through that myself.
Oh no, that's me.
I
That's
don't
like that's
see-
me in a nutshell.
I don't
right.
think-
That's
it's
just
not
me.
survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
It's just there's no your decision doesn't impact anybody. It's just, but I don't think that drama channels got affected one way or the other. I was talking to some people who made drama channels. They're making more money than ever right now, and our CPM, I think we got hit especially bad just because we have a lot of like edgier videos,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever that means on YouTube. Like, I mean,
I will
you're
tell you, that's why-
you're pretty safe. You sit there and you talk.
Right.
You sit it and you talk. There's nothing. No, it's. I don't think what matters so much is what you're talking about. It's more about like subject matter. Like the stuff that really gets you is talking about like terror events and shit like
Right,
that.
exactly. Right.
That's the stuff they care about. Is like making fun of feminists, shit like that.
Right.
Surprisingly, those videos have better CPM than any of our other ones.
That seems. I mean, that seems reasonable.
So,
But
like,
that's one of the things that I've
I
always
just-
admired about you, right? Like my YouTube subscriber list, I think, surprises people sometimes because I love iDubbbz, I love Filthy Frank and Max Mofo, and just like all the people that push the edge and grade, and like obviously you guys too. And I love the people that push the edge. Well, the reason I've always preferred your content over everybody else's is that most of the time, even when you're like direct tearing somebody apart, most of the time you're still the butt of the joke. Most of the time, like probably the video that I think exemplifies that more than anything, I go back to the guy with the swords cutting through shoes
yeah.
and stuff.
Stake in the
and
hood.
like you impaled that guy, pun intended. You impaled that guy, you ruined him.
he just followed me on Twitter, by the way, like a
What?
week ago. They're in Ventura.
But in the
No way.
same video, then there's you like flipping around in your front yard and
Yeah.
dog turds and stuff.
right.
And I'm like,
right.
you know, at the end of that video, you're not even really thinking about that guy anymore. You're
Yeah.
laughing at you.
That's
and so
really
that's
cool.
why I like the
I
way
really
you take
appreciate
the
that.
heat off of whoever you're focusing on, right? And when you do put heat on someone, it's always it's never hate, it's memes, right? Like when iDubbbz goes after somebody, I mean, it is
Yeah.
wow,
It's
right? I mean,
brutal.
like that's just straight up grade school level bullying sometimes, which I love sometimes, as long as it's funny. For you, it's it's memes.
That's cool. I
You know?
appreciate that.
You swing with memes, and I love that.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's definitely something we try to. Sometimes we like.
I think that's the beauty
sight
of
of that.
like creating. Everyone has their different
Right.
personality,
Right.
and so whatever they're making has something of their personality in it.
Yep.
And I feel like for the both of us, it's really hard to just feel like maybe we're mean to someone. We don't like that feeling.
Right.
So
Well,
that's
back in the day,
like I love, for example, Ian's content.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I love it, but
Yeah.
I couldn't make it myself.
Right.
it's too. I feel like the video he made about Tana.
Oh yeah.
I did contemplate. I'm like, man, did he go in too hard?
Yeah.
But that
it's
video
such a
was
great.
also a masterpiece.
It's such a great video.
It was like a masterpiece.
But I guess that's his style.
Right.
Yeah.
And he brings it to that point where you're like, shit, did he go too far? Like my favorite show on television. I don't know if you've seen it, Nathan For You.
Haven't seen it.
Oh my god, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like the semi-reality. He goes to businesses and he tries to help them, but he just makes everything worse. But it's like a reality show. They don't know that he's like doing
In
a main
character.
character, but he pushes it so far sometimes that
yes.
you get really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Right.
But
sometimes you
it's-
end up
it's
feeling
genius.
bad for the people.
But that's my sense of humor. That's exactly my sense of humor.
It's genius.
Very uncomfortable. My roots are in like Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison, Eddie Murphy, and like 80s Eddie Murphy. If you've never listened to 80s
Oh yeah,
Eddie
his
Murphy,
well,
my
Delirious
God.
is one of my favorite
Right, but
stand-ups.
it's like today I have trouble listening to that. It made me feel uncomfortable in the 80s. Now it makes me want to like turn it off. I'm like, oh my God, you can't say those words. Even Eddie Murphy can't say those words. You can't say that.
Yeah.
Right. It's just insane. But that's always been my comedic style. So when I started on YouTube, that's what I wanted to do, right? Like I wanted to be like Fat Boy Get
Well,
Down.
your old
or,
videos
like Chris
are really
Whitney,
good.
right? It's like the whole naked. Like I'm gonna get naked. The joke is I'm fat. That's always gonna be the joke.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but one day I just was in a depressed mood, sat down, turned on the camera, and just started talking to it, and then that was like therapy for me. And then people responded to that way more than they responded to
Interesting.
any like me eating meat weirdly or
I was
fruit salad or
I was watching recently some of your classic, like the Mountain Dew taste test video.
Oh, I love that video.
You're like fucking. Oh my god! I was like, God, this is just hilarious shit.
I-
The part where you're like, he's in the video testing. There's like 8 different flavors of Mountain Dew, and towards the end, you're like, oh yeah, this one tastes like diabetes. I can feel my toes tingling. I like that. I was like, man, that is.
Those were
wonderful.
always like just a riff off the cuff, like not
It
even.
reminded
trying to
me of
just see
the
what
old.
happens.
Reminds me of the old school videos we used to make, just like the Wild
Yeah.
West shit.
Yeah. The shtick of those was always to be believable. I wanted someone to think that's a real person
That was the
doing
brilliance.
something real.
That was the brilliance of Francis.
Right. And then eventually I hit this boiling point where everyone was in on the joke, right? And so when I did that, I was like, well, now it's time to be a little more transformative with the character because everybody's heard of me now. If even the nuke faces of YouTube don't find it believable, like the young kids or whatever. And I don't want preteens watching my content anyway.
Right.
So I not with the number of times I swear in the Francis video. So I try to be transformative with it. I think it still works. A lot of people prefer like the voice change dramatically because it used to be a very I don't even know if I still do it, but it's hey guys, what's up? It's me, Francis, and it's very low. And then I wanted to try to make it a little more cartoony, so it kind of, hey guys, what's up? It's me, Francis. And let me tell you something. I don't know. And I really prefer that way of doing it, and I have like some comedic inflection in it, and it sounds much more like a cartoon character, but it's less believable.
Yeah.
But still, to this day, like my E3 content, this year I really, really wanted to do E3 right. And so all the Francis sketches for E3, I wrote as many jokes as I could, had my wife sitting down next to me writing jokes with me too, and tried to go very old school with it. And I got a brand new group of people in who then the very first E3 video I uploaded with my regular voice, they're like, what the fuck? What? And like the people are mad. Still, they get mad because they like the idea that Francis is real.
Oh God, it was so convincing.
So,
I think the
funny.
first time I saw a Francis video, I thought it was real.
oh, you're making my day right now.
No, but well, this was like back early days of
Right.
YouTube, and that shit was like all over the place. The Francis Ray's videos were like, was such a character, was such a meme. I was like a beautiful part of YouTube's history. Was the Francis Rage.
Oh, you're making
It's a golden day.
Oh,
But to go, I was about to tell a story, and I think you'd be flattered by
yeah.
it. It's interesting. It's kind of embarrassing for me, but regardless. So back in the day, when we had like, I don't know, 500 subscribers, whatever, I remember you made a video. This is like, you were like, you made a video about how to grow your channel, and one of the tips was to like reach out to other YouTubers or something.
Yeah.
And so back in the day, I like sent you a message on YouTube.
Oh God.
And I was like, "Hey, Boogie, just want to say I'm a fan." And it's really one of these really
so
quintessential cringy messages.
I didn't know about that.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think you knew about it, but like you get these messages all the time. I mean,
Right.
I think big YouTubers get these all the time, like these really quintessential cringy, like, "Hey, I'm a fan. Check out my shit." So I sent you one of those. You're the only person I ever sent. I sent you one.
Did I respond? You got to
No.
tell me. Okay.
But it's complete, dude.
Because I would tell you, to this day, I block out an hour every day to respond to as many people as I
This
can.
was a YouTube direct
Problem-
message.
Oh, those are hard to find.
That's how long
Yeah.
ago
But-
this was.
But like literally, because I respond, it becomes insurmountable.
I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what like we still have a PO box, but if I ever mention it in the video,
Yeah,
it's a room full of
Yeah.
mail. You
Yeah.
can't do it
It's
anymore, right?
impossible.
Like it's impossible.
I
But
feel
that's amazing. I can't believe you wrote me back in the day.
it was like I did it. I wrote it. I'm like, God, that was so stupid. I shouldn't do that ever again. It felt just really dumb.
That's adorable, though.
But I was desperate.
Oh.
But you know, back then you do it. You're out there.
And now
grinding.
we're best friends from
Now
life.
look, shit. I mean, it is
Hooray.
kind of surreal though
Yeah.
that I went from writing you that cringy ass,
Yeah.
"Hey, check out my videos."
Right, but that's the thing. Like,
You know what? I probably have it on my computer. I think that's the only DM I've ever sent on YouTube.
I want to see
What?
this so bad.
I gotta kind of pull that up.
But here's the thing. Like, the next PewDiePie, I'm probably better than PewDiePie, no offense, Felix, but the next PewDiePie, the next #1 YouTuber, could very well be in the audience right now, right? They could be very well chugging along, and I think it's still possible. I know what you're about to say. I think it is still possible if you get the fundamentals right.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
no,
that,
I agree.
Like,
Dude, look
first
at
off-
Logan and Jake Paul.
Right.
Yeah.
You got
That's
to #1 figure out what people want to see. #2, you got to figure out something you can do that no one else is doing, or that you can do better than anybody else, right? And if you do that, like, you know, video gaming was not a thing on YouTube at one point, and it became a thing because a handful of pioneers made it a thing, right?
Yeah.
Fidget spinners weren't a thing. Okay, so, but I mean, you know, it's so funny. I think back to 3 years ago at VidCon, and I'm listening to Susan doing her little address, and she's talking about gaming on YouTube and how it become the #1 category on the platform.
Crazy,
And she's like,
yeah.
what will be the next
Yeah.
surprise category that comes around the corner? Well, it turned out it was like Leafy.
It's
but
hate speech, monetized hate
right,
speech,
it was- but
monetized bullying.
but it was
That died off fast.
Thank gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really died.
Do you know
out.
what? I don't know if I feel like I took that very personally, that whole thing, because I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think we kind of popularized that genre. Can I say that?
No, I can believe that. I agree entirely.
Yeah,
actually.
I think when we
Like
started,
reaction videos, like
When we started, there were only reaction videos like Jinx style, where people sit and watch the video.
those have been around forever. Those have
Right,
always been
right.
around.
Like,
Right.
and then when we started, we felt like there was no one that's actually commenting and like
Putting in
some
the effort.
sketches, putting some effort into it. So that's how I remember it. I don't know if maybe someone else was doing it, but I
Well,
don't
but when we
remember.
started, pranksters were super popular, and basically when we had our first big break, and when I got super passionate about making videos, it came from me watching these prank videos getting millions of views, and I was like, "Fuck, this shit is so stupid, and nobody's talking about it." So, like, our channel was kind of born from that. And I think for a long time, I remember thinking we were slamming all the pranksters from Vitaly to Prank Invasion,
Right.
and there was no one else doing it. And then after being successful at that for like a year, then like all of these commentary channels started propping up,
Yep.
and they were doing it like fucking like just really lazy,
Well, like
shittily, and
Leafy,
mean, really
they-
mean.
Right.
They
It's
started
really,
doing it
really
daily
mean.
too. Like
And daily.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, these guys are kind of ruining my shit. I like kind of stopped making reaction videos for a long time because I'm like, this is so stale
Every
and
once
horrible.
in a while, every once in a while, I would see somebody compare what you did to that, right? And when they do that, someone like I'd see it on Reddit, and someone would immediately be like, "But he actually is
That's nice.
He actually transforms the content, right? And in some cases, even so much as replicates it, and then so much and adds to it. And that's the difference between what you and anybody else in that category ever did. Was you at the very least, there was generally more commentary than there was the original video, and you very rarely showed the entire video. It was
Yeah, of
generally
course.
portions.
And then,
But
of
when it
course, we're the
became-
one who gets sued.
when of course, but when you're the guy who popularized costumes and sketches written around it and recreating it, and of course flopping around in dog turds in your front yard. Or
Everyone's doing that.
Right. Like that's what always drew me to your content. So when people would ever lump you in, I would always see somebody immediately, and if they didn't, I would, my little secret Reddit account where I post everything. I would then be like, well, here's the thing.
That's dope.
It's a
That's
very
cool.
transformative nature, and I think that's so important, right?
I mean-
and then again, like I said, you don't hit hard.
Yeah, that's
you hit with memes, right?
Honestly, that's the thing that bothered me the most. Is like, there's kind of a lot of responsibility that comes with that.
Yeah.
And when we first started, we had under 100,000. We were making reaction videos. We could talk shit and take shots at anybody because we were punching up like
Right.
so hard.
Right.
And then it came to a point where we had a couple million, and we had this realization, like, we used to always think, I wonder if this person will see our video. And then we came to this point where we realized they're gonna see our video.
They're gonna
which-
see it like within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now,
and
nowadays,
I
so.
need to make sure that I don't want to fuck anyone's life up. I don't want to,
Yeah.
And so they came out and they didn't have any moral thoughts. They didn't have any scruples. They would shit on anybody.
Yep.
They would say anything, and they were fucking. I mean, YouTube was a really horrible place for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it all to me really came to a head with the Tommy NC incident.
Yeah.
Like that was the one that I was like, all right, we hit the line now. That's
This-
it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where this is where it has to stop, right?
And that whole situation was fucked because like they were all blurring the lines. Like Keemstar was talking to him about
Yeah.
how he's fine. He has fake autism. You remember that? Keemstar was on this crusade. He doesn't actually. It's like,
That
oh
was
my
ridiculous.
god. Because I don't know. Keemstar was just riding Leafy's dick the whole
That's
time.
ridiculous.
And
I have a story.
It happened
actually, when
again, by the
talks-
way.
For Tommy? Or
no,
for-
it happened with another kid with autism that
Really?
Leafy made fun of, and it's
Yeah,
just like,
after Tommy, it
Anyway,
was
I can't-
another one.
I
Yeah,
have a
whatever.
story to talk about responsibility on YouTube. So I will go ahead and say all of this is alleged because I also did
this
not
is
like
proven,
getting sued.
100% guaranteed.
But I made a Francis video right at, this pushed me for like 750,000 subs. This video alone almost pushed me for like 750,000 subs to like 500,000.
Wow.
Right. Sorry, 750 to 1.5 million. Doubled my subs.
Holy
when
fuck.
It was that whole Xbox versus PlayStation era where they're coming out with the Xbox One, or they're coming out with the PlayStation 4,
Right.
and the console wars are really raging. And so there's a gentleman by the name of Adam Orth. Hi, Orthy, if you're watching. This is all alleged. So please don't sue me.
100%.
This is the
confirmed
version
by
of the story
Boogie.
as I know it. Okay. He started mouthing off on Twitter about him and a friend were talking on Twitter, thinking no one would ever see it. And they're talking about how the Xbox One is going to be an always online device. And people are like sending him questions like, well, here's the thing. I don't have good internet where I live in a rural area. How am I going to use my Xbox One? And he goes, why would you live there? Move to a city. You know? And like another guy's like, well, I'm a naval officer on a nuclear submarine. We play Xbox 360 there all the time. Will it work if I won't have access for 6 months at a time? How will it work? And he's like, it won't. Also, what's a nuclear submarine? Like just being kind of mouthy
Right.
and kind of tongue in cheeky, but people didn't take it that way. So as that story is breaking, I make a Francis video about it and I call him out by name. So the next day, he gets moved to a less powerful position at Microsoft. And then soon after, he resigns. And then he kind of goes into hiding for a while. And then I hear from someone secondhand, hey, do you remember a guy by the name of Adam Worth? No, I really don't. Well, you made a video about him, and he actually talks about you in his speech about what it's like to be this subject of internet hate that he's now doing
Wow.
at college campuses and corporations. And I'm like, really?
That sounds like a little bit of a fuck bag.
Well, I mean, honestly, okay, you can
If
say
you're
that. I
gonna
would not say
go,
that.
hold on. If you're gonna
Right.
go from being an asshole
Right.
on Twitter and poorly representing your company and getting called out to quitting and then doing speeches on tour about being bullied, you're kind of a fucking.
Well, maybe. I mean, maybe. But his goal with the speeches would be just to prepare other people for you got to watch what you say on the internet, and if you do say
a
something
what
stupid
a
on the internet,
revolutionary
what
idea.
can happen to you can happen to me, right? Okay. So I
Fuck this guy.
Okay, you
I'm
don't
kidding.
even-
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So I go
I'm
to,
just kidding. I'm
so
kidding.
I go to the very first Game Awards. Jeff Keighley and I have known each other for a while. Jeff's been a fan of mine. I've been a fan of Jeff. Yeah, Dorito Pope, the whole 9 yards. I love that guy.
Dorito Pope?
Yeah, you don't know. You never seen the So to get sidetracked.
No, okay. Yeah.
Well,
Well, actually,
right.
I'm curious about the Dorito
It's a meme. Google it. And you'll love it.
I'll check that.
But he.
I don't want to sidetrack you for that.
I'm at the first Game Awards and I'm presenting with Justine, and Justine's just like one of the sweetest people I've ever met. And we're like playing 3DS backstage and just goofing off. And she introduces me to Reggie Fils-Aimé from Nintendo, and then Peter Moore from EA, who in all, if you don't know Peter Moore, he's pretty much a Bond villain in real life.
Oh.
Like he's straight up terrifying. And he's the guy who came to EA with like the ideas of games as a service and milking the customer and microtransactions. Because he's a CEO first, a gamer last.
Love it. What a great guy.
And so he presented me my Game Award last year when I won Trending Gamer. It was so awesome.
You were
but
like, fuck you,
I was like,
but
no.
thanks for the award.
Well, we've kind of always, him and Francis have kind of always jousted. And so he walks up to me and in his very, very British voice, I'm gonna this is going to be on NeoGAF 30 seconds after I do this imitation of him, but he's like, Francis, have you played our new Dragon Age game? And I'm like, no, sir, I really haven't had the time. And he goes, well, you'll have to make time. It's got 40 hours of gameplay in the main quest alone,
My God.
80 hours of side quests. And I'm like, oh, please go ahead and shoot me in the dick with a laser now. Is there going to be a dude who's going to throw a hat to chop my head off? Which Bond villain are you today? I don't know. But then he walks away, and I'm like shaking. I'm just shaking because that guy's scary.
I want to see. So
Scary.
what's his name?
Peter Moore. He's scary.
Let's
to
get a
me.
picture of this guy up. Peter Moore from EA.
And he recently got moved to. He's headed up their esports division for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And now
Oh,
I think
yeah,
he's-
look at this.
Now I think he's running a team.
Let me pull this up.
Yeah. He's a.
This
now,
guy's running a team?
I think something like that, or maybe a sports thing.
He definitely has
I'm
like
not sure what he's doing exactly now.
Dr. Evil. Was that the one from?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's really. I've actually got to talk to him beyond this experience, and he's a nice guy. But in that instance,
That goatee.
he was
There's something
terrifying.
about
I thought
that
he was going to
goatee.
kill me. I know. That smile, man. It's like it's
That
it's
smile,
Yeah.
the squinty
All
eyes.
right. So
The
He
eyebrows.
could. You know what he could do? He could fashion the sides of his hair into like horns almost, and get like a little meme going there. Anyway.
so he walks away, and I'm just shaking. Like I think I may have. Did he poison me? I don't know. I'm sorry I ever said bad things about your company, sir. And then who's standing behind him? Adam Orth. And Adam Orth walks up to me and he says, hey, do you remember me?
Oh. And you.
And I'm like, yeah, no, I do. I remember you. Adam Orth, right? He goes, yeah, that's me. And I'm like, well, how are you doing these days? He goes, well, I'm good. I'm here presenting a game for my company. And I'm like, so you landed on your feet then, huh? And he goes, yeah. And he walks away, and like, that was the worst exchange of my life.
He hates you.
Right,
essentially,
I don't
is
know.
what it
I
sounds
couldn't
like.
read him
or
at
he
all.
definitely held a grudge.
Right, but he's aware, like,
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, I need to be careful with what I say. Because that affects people's lives. And even
Yes.
if he's the one who took the first misstep,
Yeah.
I amplified it.
Yeah.
And so what I learned from that experience was not only that, but then I got to meet like Major Nelson. I got to meet the guys over at PlayStation, Sid Schumann, and the CEO at the time, Adam Boyes, those guys. I got to know all of these people. And what I did not know is that the gaming industry, those people, those companies, they watch my stuff all the time. All the Francis sketches. They get sent from email chains. And if they have a product coming out and I make a video about it, that team will get sent that video over and over and over again, to the point that Major Nelson joked, and I don't know if this is true or not. He said the engineers occasionally will say, "What will Francis think about this?" when they're designing
That's
stuff.
funny.
And then like, my friend Barnacles Nerdgasm, who used to work for Microsoft, confirmed that for me. So I think that's true. So, but yeah, I try to always think, who am I going to affect in this? How am I going to affect them with this? And there's that responsibility. I know you've talked about
It's
it
hard
on you too.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's. I have ambivalent feelings on it because on one hand, I mean, it really depends on your approach. If you're reasonable with your response, then sometimes people need to take responsibility for their own actions.
Right.
Otherwise, I can't talk about anyone who fucked up because it might ruin. Like it's like the Cia Scolato thing. Like those guys got really fucked up by it, but it's like I don't feel bad about that at all.
No.
In that case,
Because occasionally, and like I don't. Okay, so
but we approached that video very responsibly.
Yeah.
We didn't. I feel like we didn't overstate anything. We represented the facts.
Yeah.
I think that it was a very straightforward.
Like occasionally when you do
Yeah.
shitty things, eventually the bill comes due. Like that's just
That's
the
right.
reality of
That's
of
right.
it, right? And like I I personally choose not to be the person that delivers the judge
That's
and the jury,
fair.
right? Like
That's fair.
that helps me sleep at night. But
Yeah,
everybody's
that's
like,
fair.
"Oh, you're so soft. Like you're such a pussy."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, but when the camera gets turned off, I have to live with me."
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
I have
It's
to
very
sleep
stressful.
at night.
Dude,
You know?
absolutely.
And so, like, people are like, "Oh, you let those feminists tell you what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to say." No, not really. I just know what I feel comfortable saying.
Dude, that's totally respectful that you
Yeah.
make that decision because you know that it's going to affect you
Right.
badly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I totally relate to that. I
Like
mean,
that CS:GO video was very stressful when we posted it. It was kind of scary.
I was
Yeah.
I remember when it went from unlisted to published. I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, here we go. This is gonna be a shitstorm."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, man, if you're in the business of putting shit into the world, eventually you're gonna have to eat your own shit. Right? Like, that's just
Yeah.
like that's the situation they found themselves in.
Yeah.
And that bill had to come due eventually, and it did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, I'm glad you pulled the trigger on this stuff.
Something I always ask myself is like, when we approach a video, and it's one of the reasons we're making less reaction videos because there's just not that many people out there who deserve to get goofed on.
Yep.
But it's like, okay, how much does this person deserve to be goofed on right now? And I have to measure our
Also,
approach.
like, I just treat it by now in a way where I know they're gonna see it, so
Right.
that's already in your head.
Yeah.
So you make it differently because
You're
you know
talking
they're
to a
gonna see
person.
it. And I know there's a good chance we're gonna run into them too in real
Of
life.
course, yep.
That's
So,
we
'cause
ran
that-
into
That happened to us with a few people. So
dude, we ran into actually both of
Syndicate.
them.
Did you?
I first ran into T Martin like 3 days after we dropped that video.
How'd that go?
He didn't see me.
We like ran.
I fucking
Yeah, why not?
dude, right after we posted that video, we went down to Florida to meet DJ Khaled.
Right.
And while we were there, we went to Disney World or no, Universal.
Yeah.
And fucking who was there who we saw wandering around Universal but T Martin 3 days after in Florida. We came from New York. I'm like, what the fuck? It blew my mind. I saw him immediately and I had a panic attack because he's like actually really big guy,
Right.
tall and lean. He'd fucking kill me. I'm not sure how he'd react if he saw me, but I was like, Hila, we gotta go. And we jammed. Scared the shit out of me.
But pretty recently,
Yeah, then-
we ran into Syndicate.
Yeah, we ran into Pro Syndicate
wow.
in
at
a party.
How'd that go?
It was
It
awkward.
was brutal.
I bet.
It was very
brutal.
awkward.
It was brutal.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, the only person I think in the entire world I would not want to run into would be probably Nicole Arbor. And I'll tell you something that she's gonna find out I mentioned her name, and she's gonna latch onto it, and how like I just know how she's gonna react to this. But here's why. She made that VidCon last year. I saw her and Matt. We sat at the bar, we drank, hung out for an hour. I kept trying to talk to her, and she wasn't really interested in talking to me. It was kind of loud. She's on the other side of the table anyway, so she's talking to her friends a little more. I'm talking more to Matt. And I'm like, I don't know, I just didn't really hit it off with her, which is weird because I hit it off with most people.
Okay.
But it's probably just so loud in there, and we didn't really get a chance to talk. So,
Yeah.
but as the con progresses, I see her and Matt all the time. She's all smiles. He's all smiles. I love Matt. And then 2 weeks later, she goes home and makes Dear Fat People. 2 weeks later. And so it was very hard to not take it personal because she had just spoken with me. And like one of the topics that me and Matt would talk about often comes up because people are interested. I look like a sideshow freak. I mean, people are going to eventually talk about it a little bit. They're going to want to know, or I'm going to bring it up out of uncomfortableness. And I can't help but think, it had to be a little personal. Now, it probably wasn't. She probably doesn't think that way.
You're afraid
But
that she
I
like
took it kind of personal.
You think in your mind she's like she met you,
Like, which one
and
of the-
then that inspired her to make the
like
video.
which one of those
oh,
jokes?
That's fucked up. Yeah, I
which
can
one of
see
those
why.
jokes in there was about me? Might have been one. But I
totally
get
see
that's
what you
probably
mean.
my
I see
paranoia.
what
you
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Right? And so that would be the only reason. Like anybody's allowed to have whatever opinion you want to have. You can say whatever you want to say about
Yeah.
fat people. We talked about it a little bit before the show, like the fat people hate
Yeah,
guys. They can do their thing. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me. Even when they send nasty shit to the P.O. box or to our front door or stuff like that.
They
They're-
do that?
Oh, yeah. That's
Really?
Yeah.
The
Really?
fuck?
Yeah, it's
Like
That is just fucked. Yo,
That is
what?
crazy. What, for example, did you get?
So there's this meme that my wife is cheating on me with like some like good-looking friend, or like our friend.
Okay.
But her friend is like in a monogamous, long-lasting homosexual relationship. And so it's like so absurd that they would pick that guy as the guy that my wife's cheating on me with. or
There's
something.
not even a
Right.
shred of like insecurity.
Right, but there's
there,
all
yeah.
this like stuff about how, all this stuff about how like I can't sexually satisfy a woman. And here's the thing: I can't do to a woman like George Clooney's going to do. Okay, but here's
Well,
the thing.
none of us can, to be fair.
Right. But there are things I'm pretty good at, and I haven't had a lot of complaints from the handful of women who made the bad decision to
Hey,
come back to my
Boogie, get
place,
in there, boy.
And
that.
my wife seems to be very quite happy with it.
Nice, dude.
Enough to where she married me.
Can
so
we get a whale?
Right.
Hell yeah,
So one time they sent like a dildo to the PO box. It's like a giant black dildo to satisfy my wife with, because obviously I couldn't do
That's
it.
pretty wild.
Stuff
That's
like
so
that, and it's
gross.
like I don't know.
That's pretty wild. I mean, those giant black dildos probably set you back, too.
Yeah, I think it was at least $40-$50, man.
That's a
That was a
expensive
quality
job.
dildo, yeah. And now it's just like I kept it. It's
Yeah,
in the
you
garage.
should. That's a
It's
great.
nice if we ever need it. It's there.
It's a weapon, really.
Yeah, I could kill somebody with it.
It's a good
But, like,
prop.
Yeah, it's a good
But,
prop.
I mean, like that's the thing. That's the internet. You can have whatever opinion you want to have.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that maybe some like nasty stuff to the PO box kind of crosses the line.
Yeah.
But I can still take a
Oh,
joke.
it is.
I can still take a joke.
At least it's not like threatening. That's
At least it's still a PO box.
Yeah,
though,
PO box.
and not your
That's
house.
true.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we get doxxed like routine, like every 3 months for some reason, and I never like understand why they're like so excited to know where my address is, because like I don't really care that you know. Like, what are you gonna do? Show up? You're gonna knock on the door? You're gonna send some pizza to my house? Well, I like pizza. So
Send
that's
it
pretty.
over.
Sometimes I get a surprise pizza. Thanks.
Yeah.
Because they won't. None of the pizzerias in the house will deliver unless we prepay, because they're used to us getting pranked. So if you send a
you
pizza,
serious?
it's prepaid.
Wow.
So we'll just eat it. Thanks for the.
Does
thanks
that
for the
happen?
pizza. Yeah, I have a couple times.
They just prepay a pizza.
Well,
deal?
we had somebody link me to the Tor network once, and someone put out $3,500 in Bitcoin to have someone assassinate us. And then on the same night,
What?
What?
the
Yeah.
fuck?
Wait, what? What?
somebody paid $3,500, had an offer on the Tor network of $3,500 to assassinate me. And I don't know why. I mean, this is crazy, right? But they had the wrong address. So-
Wait, what the
What?
fuck?
Yeah.
Hold on.
This is
How did you find out that someone's trying to put a hit on you?
Yeah.
Okay, so
And it's real. It's not a joke.
I mean, nothing happened, so I guess it was a joke.
You're not- yeah.
Maybe the joke was on them. Maybe somebody took their money and just laughed about it, right? But so it was all related to that PlayStation 4 unboxing. So it was like some Xbox kid who did it. That's the craziest part about it.
Dude, okay, if the
What?
Xbox, PlayStation people can beef to the point of trying to assassinate you,
Yeah.
then I have to say there's no hope for humanity.
That's what I'm trying to say.
There is no hope for the Middle East, for our country.
And they even have the money. Because
Right.
you're saying 3,500?
Right, like $3,500 in Bitcoin.
Fuck me.
Which would be now worth like 50,000 in Bitcoin or something. It'd be ludicrous. Whoever took that money. Anyway, so what happened was we have PlayStation 4 contacts us. And like, Boogie, we want to give you PlayStation 4 because of your Francis video. We all thought it was hilarious.
You're like, I'd love to
Right.
take you up
And
on
I'm
that, but I will be killed by the Xbox people.
Well, if I had known, I still would have done it because it was cool. But Sid Schumann shows up at my house and he's got a PlayStation, and I'm like, so I get to film this unboxing? And he's like, yeah, and I can do it however I want to. He's like, yeah, and I think Sid maybe took it personally. I didn't put him in the video, but I wanted it to be realistic. I wanted it to seem like a real Francis thing, right? So. It's not paid promo or anything. They're just giving me the damn thing to have.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to shoot anything. I don't have to do anything, but I want to do this because I know people are going to love it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, let's pretend you guys special delivered it. You know, not by you, Sid, but just random UPS or whatever. So we need a box. So my friends who are hanging out and wanted to meet Sid, they go to their house and get a box. And we forget to blur out the address.
Okay. Yeah.
So the address that gets leaked the first time, they eventually get my address right, but the address that gets leaked the first time
Wasn't
is
that-
my neighbor's address, my
Yeah.
friend's address. And so when they put the assassination hit on Tor Network, they sent it to my house. Then to show, like they sent an email to me, hey man, you need to see this. Send this through some crypt VP.
Some
I don't
random
know,
person
right?
sent it to
But
you?
yeah, and he's like, hey man, you
Okay.
need to see this. Probably the kid who set it up. You click on it, download it. I had to download the Tor browser, figure out how to use it, click on the link, finally click on the link. There it is. There's the hit. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, that's not the right address. So I grab my phone, I call my friend Jason. Jason, you need to get out of your house. And he's like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. Ding dong. Jason, what is happening right now? Someone's at the door. Don't answer
my
it.
God.
Don't answer the
God,
door.
this is
Are
like
you
a
kidding
horror
me?
movie.
And so my friend Jason and my friend Ellis, who lived at that address, they're like, oh my God, I don't know. They're hiding around the corner. Who is it? Domino's. They sent
That's what an
pizza,
assassin would say.
Right? They sent a pizza. So they're like, can you step out of the house to see if it's actually a Domino's vehicle? And I step out of the house, and there's a Domino's vehicle with a sign on. And I'm like, dude, answer the door. It's like, I'm not answering the door. We don't want pizza. And I was like, it's just completely bizarre that hate gets to that level sometimes, but it does. But
That's
like,
crazy.
it's funny to me. Like, it bothers me a little bit. 'Cause,
Well,
you know,
yeah, that would
I'd
bother
rather,
me.
I'd rather just like watch Netflix and go to sleep.
I mean,
Yeah.
But it makes for good stories, you know.
that is.
But that is also one of the reasons I'm like, maybe I need to step Francis back a little bit, because maybe they're not trying to kill me. Maybe they're trying to kill Francis.
They want to kill Francis. You
Right.
do them the favor.
Right.
You should make a Francis suicide video where you like a Fight Club thing. Where
Oh
you,
my God, that would be so good. I've always I did the epic rap battle. I'm sure you haven't seen it, but so I finally pushed like a million views, which you wake up and score out
Well,
a million views in the
yeah.
morning. But a little epic rap battle got it produced by my friend Weeble from Weeble Stuff. Do you remember Weeble Stuff?
I
Like
never
Weeble
saw
and
that.
Bob. Do you know Badgers?
Yes.
That guy.
Cool.
He's awesome, man. He's incredible. But he produced that song for me, and that was the very first time I ever did like Boogie versus Francis kind of thing, and try to keep it super meta. And I think eventually that storyline will happen. But I need to lose some weight so I can move more and act more. I mean, you saw me trying to get in here. I'm falling apart, man.
well, you got to
So,
do your
it's hard.
thing.
Yeah. Well, I get that surgery, and my surgeon's like, I'm like, so I could lose how much from this? He goes, if you don't try at all and you screw this up, maybe 150 pounds.
Wow.
Really?
I'm like, what?
What?
You're like just from nothing.
Without
Right,
trying.
like just
So-
without really trying.
Ooh,
And he's like, but if you
that's
push it,
crazy.
300?
So let me
I'm
ask
like,
you.
well, 300, that put me at 200 pounds. You think I can be under 200 pounds?
200.
one
That's
day?
like
Wow.
where I am.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I absolutely guarantee it. I'm like, so you're talking about adding years to my life. And he goes, Steve, I'll be honest with you, I think we're adding decades.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, because I'm 43. That makes me 60. Now, that was good in one way. I was like, man, I'm going to get to live forever. I get to spend more time with my wife. And, oh, my
Well, if you
God,
think
you
you're
two
gonna live
won't
forever-
be around in 20 years. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm going
Maybe.
to have to get a real job.
Let me ask you about this this surgery.
Yeah.
So how is it? It's when they reduce the size of your stomach.
Right. A lot of people get confused because they think I'm getting liposuction.
Right.
Which is
Yeah,
not something
that's
an
something
obese
else.
person could get. Somebody your size might get.
Yeah.
To remove 5 or 6 pounds of stubborn fat that won't leave a certain area,
Yeah.
or
Right.
like a model might get that done if they're having trouble getting a certain shape to a certain area, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a cosmetic surgery. You couldn't do that to me. You can't take 300 pounds off of a body and expect it to live,
Right.
Yeah, and
It's shocking.
And taking 10 pounds off of me wouldn't do anything.
Right.
Right. So what they're doing for me, I'm getting the gastric bypass where they'll sever 90% of my stomach and then just
Wow.
move it off to the side, and it'll stay in my
Interesting.
body, but it just won't be
So
connected.
your stomach will
So when
actually be
you-
only 10% of its current size.
It'll be the size of
Wow.
an egg.
Holy shit.
So basically, when you eat, you'll feel really full.
Right. Like
very
literally, I'll
fast.
feel full off of a thimble of milk.
Holy
You know,
shit.
When I was in Israel, I
Wow.
was working as a waitress.
Yeah.
And there was a couple sitting at a table, and they ordered one plate of fish, and it had like a fish fillet and like a side.
Right.
And they shared it. And they didn't even, weren't close to finishing it.
Oh, yeah.
They had like a little bite. And then I was like, they were sitting there, and I was like, are you guys done? Like, are you still eating? And they were like, no, we're full. And I was like, how are you full? Like,
that
both.
because of the sur-
And
yeah.
they told me they did that surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So are you? I know that the risk of losing weight, and it happens with all of us, is gaining it back.
Right.
Is that something that works with this kind of surgery, or is this
So-
just different?
I have scoured YouTube trying to find the answer to that question. And
Mm-hmm.
I've also done the studies. And the reason I decided to do the bypass, the traditional bypass over the sleeve, is because
What's the sleeve?
the sleeve, so with the bypass, they take 90% of the stomach, they move it off to the side,
Mm-hmm.
they leave it connected so the juices and stuff it produces come down.
Mm.
Then I have a working stomach of about 10%, about the size of an
Interesting.
egg. And that gives a satiation reset. It gives a reset on how full I feel and how satisfied the brain becomes. So a lot of people don't realize there's like a little second brain on the top of
Yeah,
your
I've
stomach.
read about that.
Right?
The stomach
Really?
brain.
Right, that tells you when to eat, when not to
Well,
eat.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
you feel a lot of emotions in your stomach, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
So that gets kind of a reset too. Then one of the coolest things they do is they bypass a large part of the intestines. Someone my size is overeaten their entire
Wait.
lives.
That's part of the same surgery.
It's a part of the same surgery.
Oh, wow.
They will then leave a good chunk of the intestines not like they bypass it.
They
so
just take.
they're going to bring something up from the bottom and bring it up here.
Got
So
it.
I will, when I do eat food again, I'll absorb less nutrients. So I have to eat nothing but superfoods for
What's
the rest
the
of my
purpose
life.
of that?
Wow.
Because I have actually stretched my intestines out so much, whereas you might eat some food and get 80, 90% of the calories, I'm getting every calorie because it sits in there for a really long time.
So this is part of the effort to lose weight.
Right, to get me back to fairly a normal digestive system.
Got it.
And so, yes, if I really try at the 1.5 year mark to start overeating again, I could probably, within 10 years, get back to my size.
You would you can.
I'd have to really try.
But
I'd
the
have to try
stomach
hard
is
to start
capable of
stretching back out.
stretching out to the same size as it was.
And eventually, I will have my stomach right now. They said is probably the size of a football. I think is what he said. A normal stomach would be the size maybe of a catcher's mitt or a little smaller. And what I'll have is an egg. He said 2 or 3 years down the road, I'll probably have that normal size catcher's mitt. And that if I really try to screw it up, if I put some real effort into it, then I could get back to here. But I have no intention.
Yeah, of course.
But like the problem is, a lot of people think that's the easy way out. Number one, there's a 1 in 1,000 chance on July 25th I won't wake up.
How many? What's the percentage?
1 in 1,000. There's a
That's
1 in 1,000
pretty-
chance the surgery will kill me.
That's
I feel like
scary.
there's that percentage on almost any surgery.
And it's pretty
1 in
close.
1,000
They
is
actually
pretty
say it's
good.
more dangerous to
Pretty
get your
scary.
gallbladder taken out.
Oh shit.
But it's still an optional surgery. I'm
Yeah,
taking
no,
that
it's-
risk
dude.
for no good reason.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Then
that surgery.
secondly,
yeah.
I'll never be able to eat sugar again because of something called dumping syndrome. So it'll be a good 6 months to a year that if I ever eat sugar, it will not cause me to become violently ill, both front and back.
That helps with the diet.
Right. And then I basically have to eat superfoods for the rest of my life because if I don't, I will lose lean mass. So I have to target like 106 grams of protein in a day. But how do I do that with a stomach that small?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to literally, have to eat whey protein with a spoon.
Interesting.
To be able to. So it's a complete overhaul. And a lot of people think, well, why not just lose the weight the normal way? And the answer is because I've tried over and over and over again.
dude.
But
Yeah.
the statistics show, the numbers show that the majority of people that lose it gain it back. You lose it, you gain it back.
Well,
the
I think
surgery is intervention.
I think
on that.
it's worth saying
Yeah.
to people because I think a lot of people say, "Why don't you just lose weight? Why don't you just go on a diet and exercise?" But I think at this point, and I mean, you have like a eating disorder, right?
Right.
It's like an
Yeah.
OCD thing. It's
Yeah,
not
right.
just you're
Exactly.
not like most normal people who can just be like.
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier.
I mean, I think that's really important for
Right.
people to understand.
somebody gets
Yeah.
30, 40, 50 pounds overweight. Chances are they don't have a lot of discipline and they like food a lot, right?
Yeah.
If somebody gets maybe 100 pounds overweight, 150 pounds overweight, they probably lack discipline and education. They probably don't really understand
Right.
what they're doing and why they're doing it wrong.
Right.
I think if you're getting 150 pounds or more overweight, there's
It's an
some
eating
mental
disorder.
issues there.
I
There's
agree.
mental issues there, right?
I agree.
And I know what my mental issues are. In fact, before I qualified for the surgery, I had to have years and years of therapy to identify why I overate, what causes it, and what led to this, and stuff like that. I know exactly what my issues are. A lot of big people don't, and that's when you go back to my friend who I mentioned who's on that weight loss show. He'll tell you right now the reason they put on the weight is because I didn't deal with the mental stuff first. And so when the shit got hard again, I ate. And with YouTube has done that for me, right? Like the getting to meet you guys and getting to be on a show like this. I'm gonna carry this high for a long time. Pizza can't do this. Ice cream can't make me as happy as I am today getting to do this, right? VidCon is like heroin if food is aspirin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I've got so much going on in my life between the wife, the dog, the family,
Cool.
buying a house in the.
Oh,
I bought a
congrats.
house in the
Nice.
home. In the town I was homeless in, Ethan. I was homeless.
That's awesome.
For 6 weeks of my life, had nowhere to sleep,
Wow.
nowhere to go. I was sleeping on my roommate's dorm room floor, just breaking into buildings at the campus, sleeping on couches until I got up first in last month's rent. And then we just bought my dream house in that same town.
Congratulations.
Wow, congratulations.
So food is just a nuisance to me now. It doesn't really do much.
I think that it's really important to educate people because, like we were talking before we went on air about Fat People Hate, this subreddit,
Yeah.
super controversial subreddit that was like #1 on Reddit for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was on the front page, and Reddit shut it down for being a hate subreddit. But I have like mixed feelings, as we
Yeah.
said, because on one hand, people need to understand that people of a certain size have a eating disorder.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, I'm lazy and I don't care and I just eat because I'm fat. Like, I think most people of a certain size are painfully aware
Right.
and unhappy with their
Right,
weight. And
right.
like you have to be compassionate to understand that. The part that rubbed me wrong about fat people hate, or the thing that I identified and thought was funny about fat people hate,
Right.
was like the fat people fallacies, right?
Yeah,
Where they're
I love
like,
that stuff
yeah,
too,
where
yeah.
they're like, I don't know why I'm fat. I only had 1 pint of ice cream this morning.
And that subreddit,
like this shit's
that
gold.
subreddit does still exist, and I still subscribe to it today. Fat People Logic.
Oh, fat people, right?
And
That
it's
was
like-
the predecessor.
And like,
yeah.
it's funny because that's kind of therapy to me. I read that all
Yeah.
the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have thought that way before. Oh, okay. Wow, I never realized that.
Right.
But that's sometimes it's sometimes it's just completely. Like, no one's ever actually thought that way, but it's funny to pretend that we do.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
occasionally, every once in a while, I see a little bit of myself in that. That's therapeutic.
But I think, like what you said, education is a lot of the problem too. Like,
Yeah.
Hila's mom, her family's not fat people at all by any means, but she'll like deep fry vegetables, and there's like no health, there's no nutrition there at that point. Like, it's just oil and like the semblance of some vegetables, right?
Right.
There's nothing healthy there. And I'll be eating and I'm trying to have a lean dinner and she's like, Ethan, eat some vegetables. She said that to me. And I'm like, you realize that that's like not healthy, right? So I think a lot of these old school people don't understand
Right now, it's,
that eating a
Right.
bowl full of oil and vegetables isn't good for you.
I will tell you the toughest debate to ever have, and like there are people going to shut down the stream when I say what I'm about to say. But
This is juicy. Let's go, boy.
it's not. It's always okay. Let me put it the right way. It's always calories in versus calories out. It's always that. You always have to eat less and move more. It is always that. That is always what
It's
has
not
to happen.
controversial. That's science.
Right? But in some cases, specifically diabetics, the math doesn't always work out.
So, okay, expand on that.
So, insulin resistance
Mm-hmm.
makes it very difficult to burn fat because insulin is a big portion of burning fat. So it comes right from my hormone doctor, literally word for word. So when I lost 50 pounds while diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm disappointed by it, and I'm like, I can't believe I've only lost 50 pounds. I mean, we did a liquid diet for 6 weeks. I brought in 1,800 calories a day. On a bad day, I put in like 2,500. Mathematically, I should have lost closer to 100. And he goes, well, Steve, you're diabetic. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, your body's going to choose to burn lean meat before it burns fat.
Oh, weird.
I'm like, what? And so we go through the whole 9 yards. Well, let's do the test. Well, you have 275 pounds of lean mass. And so your body will choose to burn lean mass first because of the insulin resistance. And so I have to burn through my muscles, and so it just gets complicated. It gets muddy.
Oh, that
Now, we're
sucks.
still only talking like a 10 or
So-
15, 20% margin at worst. Like somebody with a terrible metabolic condition and all that
Yeah.
stuff, it's still only a small margin.
I guess the fat
But it gets
person
complicated.
logic
It gets
is like
complicated.
one of the classic ones is like I have a slow metabolism,
Right, right.
which you're talking about being a diabetic.
And if
is
here's the
completely
thing:
different.
if you're diabetic, you
Yeah.
could, and if you're not, if you have a sedentary lifestyle, and you're not putting 10
Oh, yeah.
minutes of cardio in a day,
Yeah.
your body won't move in the direction of fat burning.
But
you
what
have
I-
to prove to it that it needs to burn fat, so you need at least 10 minutes of cardio every day.
But to
right?
some extent, I always felt like I'm sure there's something to that, but it always doesn't. There's something that doesn't make sense because it's like you exert a certain amount of calories every day, you eat a certain amount of calories. What Like there's not is what's happening in between.
Right.
Like what if you eat 2,000 and you burn 3,000? Like there's not what's like the magic figure where somehow your body's not burning the calories that it should.
It beats the living hell out of me. I do know, like in the case of insulin resistance, I guess with the case of a bad thyroid, you're not producing the hormone that
yeah.
tells the body to burn fat. I think in the case of diabetes, your body is not, it doesn't have all the chemicals there, or does not respond to the chemicals correctly to burn the fat first, so it chooses lean mass.
But then-
and I think it probably still always keeps to the laws of thermodynamics because you can't break the laws of thermodynamics.
I guess what I was going to say is like, yeah, it does.
Right.
But like what happens to your body if you're not burning or you're burning? I'm confused. I'm confused on the end.
I believe,
wasn't
based on what
following.
I've read, that it is possible for a morbidly obese person to starve to death if they don't have the vitamins coming in
Right.
I think it is entirely possible for a morbidly obese person to starve to death while they're still morbidly obese if they have the wrong hormonal set in their body and the markers are off and their body's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Weird and wild.
I think it'll eat enough lean mass first instead
that's
of
so
the
wild.
fat, and then lean mass, we're talking heart muscle, we're talking muscle, and what's a muscle? Your heart. And so you weaken your heart, you'd have a heart attack and starve to death because of that. I think that's entirely possible if the chemicals are wrong. I think that
makes sense.
That may
No,
have
it does
existed like 1 in a billion people in the
does
world.
make sense.
And
It's
that's
weird.
not my condition. And if someone's listening right now, it's probably not your condition
Yeah,
either. I'm
yeah,
not giving
yeah.
you an excuse.
Yeah.
You still have to do the work. You still have to get with a nutritionist to figure out what your personal body needs are. You still need to get with a trainer to figure out what your exercise needs are. You need to get with a doctor who will help you figure out your weight loss patterns. Like that, you still have to do the work.
Right.
There's no excuse to not do the work,
Yeah.
or you'll die.
Yeah.
And you'll die very unhappy and very unhealthy. That's the thing I can tell you.
Yeah.
So
Let's
it's just interesting though.
No, it's fascinating. I've always been really fascinated by it. I want to let's get back into it. I'm gonna take a quick break.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom, get some more water, and plug in this laptop to die.
Okay.
So don't go away, guys. We will be right back in 2 minutes. And if you leave, tell them what's gonna happen if they leave.
Ethan's gonna kill you.
Wow, what the hell? That's not what's gonna happen. Who am I killing?
I will cry. I will personally
You looked
cry.
at like Boogie when you said that.
I
Like I was
didn't
gonna
mean to.
kill.
I didn't mean to.
Ethan will kill Boogie
I
if
don't
you
know.
What the
leave.
That's
hell?
what you always say.
Well, jeez, that was dark. It's usually just like a little like something bad's gonna happen, guys.
That's what you always say.
All right, I'm gonna kill Boogie apparently if
Not
you guys
Boogie.
leave. So
What a way to go, honestly.
please don't leave. 'Cause
Everybody
I
has to
don't.
die, but I'll die a hero.
I don't want to do that.
There's like at least one guy who's like slaying that close button. He's like, woo!
All right, we'll be right back in a couple minutes. Welcome back, guys, to the HD Podcast
Hi.
with Boogie and Gila. What up, pimps?
What up?
How you doing so far? You having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Slamming, baby.
Doing good.
Right before we went on the air, you were saying that you had this rape story that got me
Oh,
so
God, no,
intrigued.
it's
Because I was talking about how we do this show live, and so I'm
Right.
always careful not to say something really dumb.
Oh boy.
Which it happens. You're doing it live. You're going to say some really stupid shit. And it already happened to me once, where George, Filthy Frank, was sitting on this couch behind me, and we were having a conversation about rape in nature. I don't know why. I don't usually talk about rape as a subject of conversation, but I said something, and George reacted behind me like he didn't even know he was on camera. And now I got memed into oblivion, and that video has like 1 million views.
Yeah.
So then you volunteered.
I said that when I was 15
And I
years
was-
old and I was writing my first sketch.
Yeah.
My first stand-up set. My first 15 minutes. My first hard 15. Because I wanted to be a stand-up comic. Did not realize
That's
how much
interesting.
standing up in it is actually involved.
Shit.
I'm more of a sit-down
It's a
comic.
little bit. It's a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wrote a joke about a topic that's private to me. I've talked about this very, very briefly. But I had some inappropriate stuff happen to me growing up.
Wow, that
And
is.
so
I'm so sorry.
I feel
about
like
that.
I think that it's okay that I get to make this joke. I think, please do not neo-gaff me for making this joke, because this is how I processed my shit, okay?
Yeah.
So here's the joke, okay? As someone who has been hurt that way, I think rape is never funny. I think rape, let me repeat, rape is never funny. It's not a joking matter. I don't think comedians should be writing jokes about it. It's never funny. Except maybe one time it could be funny. And that's when you're being raped by a clown. But that's only because you can honk his cute little nose, and when he
Are
comes,
you kidding
it's
me?
just confetti.
I can't imagine anything more horrifying than be raped by a clown. That is literally the most scary image I've ever had in my life.
Seriously, that's scary.
Jesus. I'm not traumatized by the joke. I'm traumatized by this image of being raped by a clown. Christ.
I wrote that joke at 15. I stand by it today. I think it's completely tasteless.
I mean,
and I think
yeah.
that it can make a lot of people feel very uncomfortable to even hear about the topic, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think the joke itself is sound.
I don't think it's like fair enough.
Right.
You're not going to get triggered out of oblivion.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to retire for telling that joke.
But I had that's the way I deal with. That's how I deal with like bad stuff in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've had more than my fair share of bad stuff, I have just a really messed up sense of humor. I'll tell you the day my brain broke for the first time, the day that I officially became a bad person.
What is that? Yeah.
Okay, so my grandmother had Alzheimer's disease. I loved her to death. Ultimae was her name, but this is back in the late 80s. And she was about 5 years advanced in Alzheimer's, and it moved pretty quick for her, so that was pretty deep in. And so we're about 75 miles away where we lived. We were down shopping, and my mom stops at a payphone. She calls my grandfather up, her dad and her mom, and says, "Hey, Daddy Carl, is today a good day to visit? How's Mommy?" And she says, "Well, she's doing real good. She's real bright, real clear. If you want to come up, now'd be a good time." Well, great. I think me and my sister and my brother are all in the car, so we pack up. We drive that 75 miles there through Mountain Hills. So it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get there. And when we get there, between that phone call and when we arrived, all hell had broken loose. My grandmother had it in her head that my grandfather was trying to kill her. Like, that's just how her Alzheimer's presented. And so because of that, they'd already like removed all the weapons and guns and knives from the house. So all there was like butter knives and forks and spoons.
That was something that had been going on for a while?
Right, been going on for a while.
That's fucking so sad.
Alzheimer's is a cruel disease.
It's got to be one of the worst things out there.
Absolutely, right. But she, Daddy Carl got her out of her nightcoat, got her underwear on her, got her bra on her, and starts to put her pearls on her. She always wore pearls. Started to get her pearls on her, and she got into her head that he was trying to choke her. So she decided to bury the knives in the house, get them away from him so he couldn't stab her. So all there's left in the house is butter knives, right? And so she rushes out in the front of the house in the garden, and she's like digging a hole to bury these knives, and it's pouring rain, and at that exact moment we pull up in the car. And so here's my grandmother in her bloomers, covered in mud, rain pouring down on her, trying to bury butter knives in the garden. My grandfather screaming, "Altamay, get your ass in the house. You're going to die of a cold. You're crazy. Yo, Carl, you're trying to kill me." And my brain said, either you're going to listen to My Chemical Romance every day for the rest of your life, or this is funny. So which one are you going to choose? Well, I chose funny. I mean, how do you not? And so I started laughing, and my mother, who's abusive, she turns around, she goes, "What the fuck is so funny, Stephen J?"
I have to tell.
And I said, "Well, maybe she'll grow buttercups."
Oh my God!
Right? Because it's what. Well, my mom beat me
here's
till I
the
went
thing.
unconscious. But here's the thing.
There's two things. I feel like I always laugh in those situations too. And it reminds me, like, my favorite author and someone who's had a huge impact on me is Kurt Vonnegut. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yep.
And he was writing in his autobiography that that guy's been through some shit in his life. I mean, he's passed now, but he's seen some of the worst things. And he writes this really dark comedy. And he said, like, whenever confronted with death or tragedy, he always laughed. It's just like something he felt inside of him just to laugh. That's how he dealt with it.
Right.
And his family members used to get super frustrated and be like, "Why are you like at his mom's funeral, who he loved, he was like laughing." And they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He's like, I'm obviously mourning. It's not funny per se, but
Right.
I don't know. You have two choices how to deal with things.
It's a weird reaction.
Kurt Vonnegut actually is it was Kurt Vonnegut and Douglas Adams that pushed me towards, I would not really say that I'm a nihilist, but I would say I have very nihilistic tendencies, and I think I've embraced the absurdity of this whole thing. I think that's one of the reasons I was able to eat myself to an absurd level, is because at one point I genuinely understand that none of this matters, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, they would tell me, "Hey, the way you're eating, 25, hey, the way you're eating, you'll be dead by 30.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, well, that's something I'd like to happen. I'm miserable, so I get to die and also eat all the food I want. Well, that
So you
sounds
think-
great,
You think like depression had a hand in?
Oh, absolutely, like
Like the-
straight up, and like the being poor as well. Like when we were homeless, when we got our first month's and last month's rent together, we got our first place. We would go to the CC's Pizza Buffet and spend $5, and we would sit down for lunch, and we'd leave after dinner. And we would eat as much as we
Wow,
could
what
because
the
that's the one
fuck?
time we're eating that day.
How many
Could
calories
be
do you think you would eat in that day?
2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, easy.
Just in
Right?
that sitting.
Because I didn't know if I was eating tomorrow. Because I didn't know if I was going to have another
got
$5.
it. Yeah.
Right? And so it actually got to the point, like, the manager of the Fayetteville CC's knew us by name, and one day just walked over, and he's like, "Hey, what's your all's deal?" And I'm like, "Oh, I knew this day was coming. I'm so sorry that we do this, man."
Oh,
And he goes,
shit.
No, it's fine, dude. You guys are always playing with those cards. What are those cards? And I was playing Magic the Gathering that
Oh,
card game.
shit,
And
that's
so we'd sit there
awesome.
and play Magic to pass the time. And we talked, and he goes, "Well, you guys sure are in here. Well, do you guys not have anywhere to go?" And we told him the situation.
What a nice guy.
And
What
he's
the hell?
like, "Well, son, you don't have to worry about costing me money." He says, "You know what my food cost is?" I said, "What?" He goes, "That pizza you guys special order, the barbecue one, do you know how much I pay for that? About 23 cents.
Holy God.
He said, "You'd have to eat 10 of those before it even start to affect my bottom line." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, he got to where he recognized us when we were coming in. He goes, "Hey, those two guys get drinks today? No, they get sodas. Give them sodas. Hey, those guys already paid earlier."
What a
And
nice
so he
guy.
he's like one of the nicest guys. He's Christian and like openly Christian about it, but not like the like proselytizing or whatever. He's just like one of those people that like lived the life, like
Right.
lived like exactly the life that he was told to live
Wow.
by the good book. I was really impressed with him. But that led to this like pattern of just eating as much as I could whenever I could because I
So
never
it's a
knew.
lot of stuff combined. It sounds like.
Yeah. It's a whole host of. I am a number. I did a number on myself, and a lot of people did a number on me beforehand, and so I got to be like straight up crazy, like the straight up like kind of. I shouldn't be able to function, but I managed to somehow. Kind of crazy. It's exciting.
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Well, I was watching your. I was watching some of your old videos about like your backstory with your family, and that
Yeah.
shit was really, really heavy duty stuff, man.
I mean, for the people who don't want to have to go through that, I don't want to depress you too much, but like, I read books like Flowers of Algernon, and they read to like a documentary to me.
Jesus Christ.
Like it was just as messed up as it could be.
Right.
I mean, any way that a person could be abused, I was abused, and that was on a daily basis, not a weekly, not a monthly basis, a daily basis. I just, it was
What
like.
was the deal with your mom? Because I remember hearing about it and that she was real abusive to her.
She was
and very angry.
She was dichotomous, and like that's one of the reasons I think that
Seems common with
the-
these kind of
right.
characters.
Like the more broken a person is, the more attracted I am to that person a lot of the times.
Interesting.
Like I could straight up befriend the most dangerous, messed up people, and it's because I try to find the good in those people, and
there is.
right, and there almost
Yeah,
always is, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's like why whenever someone who's notorious on YouTube, like Daddy 05 situation,
Yeah.
the very first thing I did was I heard that story. I wrote Daddy 05 on Twitter, and I'm like, can we talk? And my goal there wasn't to help him or protect him. My goal was to get involved to try to like get an advocate into the home. And he's like, Boogie, they're going to take away my YouTube channel.
Dude,
and I'm
it's
like,
worse than that,
probably,
dude.
But a good way to save face and a good way to maybe keep your YouTube channel would be to get an advocate in the home today. Contact social services in advance and then get your own therapist today. I know you've got the money. We've talked about money. So get the therapist in advance, get them into the home and film them in the home. Film a therapy session. Show that to the world. They are actively making an effort, right? Show the social service woman visiting. Let them know you're actively making an effort. And he's thinking, oh, he's trying to help me with PR. No, I'm not trying to help the kids. I know when the person comes in there, they're going to see what's going on,
Yeah.
and then something's going to happen. I'm just trying to convince him that get somebody into the home. It might save your YouTube channel, right?
that
That's the only
situation-
path to victory anyway.
That situation was so fucked.
But like I try, that's what I try to do. I try to get into because I was raised by monsters. So whenever a monster rears their head, I can't help it. I just shove myself right in there.
And were you able to like talk to him? Was he receptive?
He was receptive to a certain point, but he kept saying, "Boogie, the videos are fake. Boogie, the videos are fake." And I'm like, "All right."
Do you believe that, by the way?
It doesn't matter.
I think that
That's a good point, too, but...
I think that part of it was scripted, right? So I think that him and his maybe like let's talk about the ink episode.
Yeah,
This
the
is-
ink one.
This
The
is not
ink
Specifically.
This isn't personal insight. This isn't something he said to me. This is entirely alleged. Please do not sue me. This is my theory. Okay, but I personally feel like for the parents, it was definitely scripted.
The
Like
ink
they
one?
knew, right? the
Because
ink
my
one, right.
impression
I think the parents
was
knew
that
what they were
one.
going to do.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
they knew.
No.
Yeah.
But I think maybe
But the
and I
kid-
think the kid is used to getting pranked and getting
Yeah.
rewarded after the prank.
Interesting
But
point.
I think when I look at that video, having a severe anxiety disorder myself, when I look at that kid, it's clear that he's
Dude,
exhibiting
tortured.
extreme anxiety. Right?
Absolutely
Yeah.
tortured.
Right? And I see myself in that kid. So even if he was in on it on some level, he still can't
not
process
healthy.
it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
my
So it doesn't
point.
even matter if it's fake.
Exactly, that's my point.
It's an unsafe
It doesn't
environment.
matter, and
Right.
he's a kid. It doesn't know.
Yeah.
He can't tell anyway. Like he's growing in this environment that's so weird. Like
Right.
they're pranking him. His parents are pranking him.
It's very
and then it's
unhealthy.
over, and they're
Right.
making videos, and like what's even reality and what's a
Also,
video?
like,
of
their
that? Like,
living is from fucking over their kids. It's like, what
Yeah.
kind of weird-ass reinforcements?
Yeah.
That whole situation was so fucked up. And, like, it ended up with them losing their kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever happened on YouTube where people lost their kids. It's a new...
Well, they lost two
I
of the
don't
three,
know.
right?
They
And I
didn't
think
lose
they have
all of
the,
them.
I think they have the older kid still.
Oh, that's good. They
Which
loved
is-
him anyway.
Right, which is like that's
the
really
one
what it
they
was.
liked.
Like it's insane, and I hate to say it, but literally, they were treated like redheaded stepchildren. Like that's an old
He
saying from when I was growing
he
up.
Was,
and it literally
and
was.
He was.
Yeah,
he
I couldn't
was
believe
one,
it.
and he was treated.
I've never seen that's literally the cliche, and it happened, and I still can't believe it. But that's the thing. I think, like, what little expertise I have with being abused, and then I spent a lifetime in therapy and group therapy because of it. I feel like that was another lack of education situation, right? Like, I think maybe he did not fully understand what was appropriate and what wasn't appropriate.
I mean,
and maybe doesn't even have the capacity to fully to have picked that up on himself. That's a situation where I felt like it needed intervention, right? I don't think he was truly mean-spirited. I think what he
was.
I think he personally thought it was acceptable, and no one had ever educated him otherwise. That's what I think.
I mean, it's possible he came from a fucked up family, and that was just the norm. And then all of a sudden, you're putting it on the internet, and everyone's like, "Dude, that's not normal."
Right? Exactly.
But at home, maybe that's normal, and where he came from, that's normal.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, and that's one of the most fascinating things about growing up abused, because to this day, sometimes I'll remember something that happened, and I'll think, well, that's not how other people experience life. That
still happens.
That's still to this day. To even 3 weeks ago.
Do you remember?
Like one of the most recent one. The most recent one, I looked at my wife and I'm like, "Did you ever sleep with your mom?" Not sexually, but in the same bed.
Oh.
And she's like, "Yeah, like when I was like 4 or 5, and I'd get really scared." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it was like an everyday thing or whatever." And she's like, "No." And like, so if I slept with my mom when I was 12 still, that would be weird, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah." So if I didn't have my own room at the age of 12, like that's weird, right?
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, no, that's very unusual, Steve."
Yeah.
And I'm like, so when I moved out of my mom's bed and not having a bed and her refusing to get me one, then that's way fucked up, right?
Oh yeah, dude. That is very
and I'm like,
weird.
I guess I've just never really thought about other sleeping arrangements. I've seen it on television, and I guess I kind of always knew that wasn't right, but I didn't realize how not right it was.
That's a lot of
Well,
times
yeah,
how
right?
it is. Yeah, with like when you're abused as a kid, at the time it may
Right.
seem like a game or something.
And so I think that's
You have no concept. You're
you
a
have,
kid.
yeah, you have no.
which is like, I mean, I've always done okay with girls, which is, I know that's surprising, to anybody listening, but I've always done all right with girls. And so one of the very first things I would always open with is like first date material for me to like, and I'm not interested in kids. And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Oh, because I come from an abusive home, and I'm afraid that I'd be abusive to kids, so I won't risk it." And they're like, "Well, but you don't seem abusive at all." I'm like, "And I'm not. I'm 100% sure I'm not. But it's not worth the risk of screwing up another person's life, so I'm not interested in kids." Well, that's a hell of a deal breaker for a lot of ladies, right?
Yeah.
You want to get that out there right away.
Right, like I just like straight off the bat, I'm like, "Hey, I come from an abusive home. My scale of what's right and wrong may not be perfect.
You want to get that out there, dude.
And I don't ever have kids because I don't know that I can raise
Have
them.
you ever had a
And do
really?
you still think that or you don't want?
I don't
kids?
think so now. I think really the work that we've done in the last 4 or 5 years, especially the work that I've done since I met my wife and with my wife specifically, I think that I've grown into a place where, and especially because I trust her so incredibly much, and she's so good handling me. Like, we always, the joke about you're his carer.
Yeah.
I mean, she genuinely is my carer. Like, I can't function. I literally can't function.
Yeah.
I could not get through VidCon because I'm paralyzed with anxiety.
Yeah.
And so, Steve, we need to be here in 20 minutes. Steve, you have this here in a few minutes. Steve, it's time to take your medicine. Steve, it's
Yeah.
time to eat.
Right.
I literally cannot function without her.
That's pretty dark that you're afraid of abusing kids.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I could say from knowing you that you wouldn't do that. But just like the fact that that's so deep seated in your mind is
Yeah.
really so fucked up.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, and it's interesting because it was visited on. I have a brother and I have a sister, and that my brother got less of it than I did by quite a bit. My sister got way more of it, but in a shorter period of time than I did. I was there the full 18 years. My brother was there for 17. But he had my dad to protect him. Before my dad got sick, I ended up taking care of my dad. And then my sister, she got just the worst, like crazy, like stories you wouldn't believe. Maybe one day I'll write a book.
She older or younger?
She's older. They're both older.
You should write a book. That's really interesting.
I'm just worried that like people would be like, "I'm not buying that because that is fucking depressing." But like she might hear this, so I don't really want to speak her business. But like you imagine it, and whatever you're imagining right now, that happened, but worse. Like whatever you're thinking.
Wow.
She just got the worst of it.
She's younger.
So she ended up running away
from
at the
both
age.
your parents, or
Yeah,
was
she got it from both. Which
So your
was
dad was
interesting.
also abusive?
Well, to her,
She's
So-
got the special.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The
So
special- oh.
she got the double whammy there.
And are you in touch with her still?
Yeah, we talk occasionally. It's very broken when we do because there's a lot of history there and there's a lot of messed stuff up there.
Yeah.
But we touch base a couple times a year, and I love her, but she's very different because of what she went through, and it's hard. It's hard, you know. I think I think she's recovered as much as I have, but in a very different way. You know, she kind of went into like a subculture, and she's just part of that subculture. And you know, I went into like, I don't know, kind of like my brother once said to me something real fun. I grew up with an accent, and I sounded like, "Hey y'all, how y'all doing today?" Hey,
Really?
it's
Is that your
Steve. Yeah, that's my
natural-
natural accent.
Really?
Sometimes when I get very anxious, I still go into it. My wife is like freaked out by it. She's like, "Why are you doing a voice right now?" I'm like, "Well, honey, I'm just scared shitless now." But she, my brother comes home one day and he goes, "If you ever want to be taken serious in this world, you got to lose the accent."
Really?
Because he went to Virginia Tech, and his first year, they ridiculed him for having that deep Appalachian accent. And so he's like,
It's a wonderful, beautiful accent. I love
it
it.
to this
It's so
day.
classy.
And when I go
It's a
back
beautiful
home,
thing.
I go right back into it, and like I'm there for 20 minutes, and I'm at an
Can
Applebee's.
you talk in it just for like a minute?
Oh yeah,
for
like,
the next minute.
I'll go to the Applebee's and I'll be like, "Hey honey, what do you want?" I was like, "Well, if y'all got Mountain Dew, I sure love to drink me one of them." And I tell you what, let me get
I
one of them
can't believe
appetizer places,
that.
man. I love me some appetizers. Now y'all got wings? Now are they hot, honey? Because I can't handle a hot one. All right, I can handle mild. You got mild? All right, well let's get some of that.
It's
Ethan,
like
I'll tell you.
it's like more than an accent. It's like with
It's
the honey
attitude,
and-
boy.
yeah, the
Right,
attitude.
right.
It's a total
Right.
transformation.
And then I'm only like half Appalachian. If you really get into the mountains,
Right.
you're talking about, well, I'm on that hill, I'm on
gets
that hill. It's like
wilder and
right
wilder.
straight from King of the Hill. It's great.
I
Crazy.
love
Great.
it. I feel
Yeah,
like
no,
I'm in a
it's amazing.
movie
It's
when I
beau-
hear this stuff.
But I tried to move into, he said, listen to the news and talk the way they do on the news. So I started practicing. And that's how I got into all the voices and stuff. And that's like, even the Francis voices from back there. And I found I could do, "Hi ho there, this is Kermit the Frog here." And, "Yes.
You have a
do
great voice.
Or do not. There is no try. Judge me by my size, do you? You should not." Right. I started doing all these stupid, terrible accents and voices. And, you know, it's so funny. I had a tape recorder, and I would
Right.
record this stuff. And I would play it back for myself. And then I'd be like, "Mom, listen to this. Mom, listen to this." I had time for that shit. I'd take it to school. "Hey, Dustin, will you listen to this?" It's okay. I don't really think it's that funny, man." Okay. I wanted someone to listen to what I was creating so bad. And kids today, I mean, I've watched probably 100 fidget spinner cringe compilations because they can turn on the camera at any second.
Right.
And they're immediate. They can go live. They can broadcast to the world.
That is probably the worst thing about being a kid today. Is
Oh, yeah.
how painfully and permanently you can embarrass
Right,
yourself.
and it's not when you'll make a mistake. It's not if. It's
I mean,
when.
dude, if
Yeah.
I had access to the internet and camera as a kid,
my God.
God knows what
It's so
cringe
embarrassing.
horrors would haunt me for
Oh,
the rest of
God,
my
yeah.
life. You know?
Oh, I know for a fact what I would have done, and I will never say it, but I would have definitely. Ooh, yeah, it would have been bad.
What?
Well, I grew up on Sam Kinison stuff. And so I grew up on like, you know, just all this like super offensive humor. And so when I was
Oh.
my original comedy sketches were just like, ooh, like dark.
right.
I guess so I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
I want to ask you about your anxiety because that's something I've had a lot of
Oh, yeah.
trouble with in my life. I remember I used to be really debilitated by anxiety. Before I went off to college, I was getting like super severe panic attacks and like like depersonalized and just like super fuzzy brained and just like so out of it for like the whole time of my college. It was really hard for me to feel like I could be myself.
Right.
Up until, I still have trouble with it, frankly, but up until only the past like 5 years even, did things start to like normalize to the point where I felt like I could have a normal life.
Right.
Like
That's awesome, man. I'm so glad to hear that. I didn't know it was that bad for you. But I've only
Yeah,
ever
it
known you
was-
in recovery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And your recovery has been so brilliant and so incredible. And now to hear that, it's almost hard to believe, to be frank.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
It was really dark times in my, like before, it started when I was smoking weed in high school, right before I left for college.
Yeah.
And I started getting panic attacks, and I would feel like, because I used to be like really confident and kind of, I felt like I was a sharp and confident guy. And whenever I smoked weed, I would get in my head and I'd feel like really insecure and really like just not myself. And I kept smoking and smoking and smoking. That's what all my friends were doing at the time, and I just
Right.
wanted to hang with them. And it got to this point where I just like hated myself, but I didn't like fully understand it. So it just like snapped one day so hard, And I went from feeling like super in control and confident to just like total mental collapse. Wow. And I don't think I slept for like 2 weeks because I didn't understand what was happening. I thought I was going like schizophrenic. And it got to the point where I wasn't sleeping and I was actually like hallucinating because I wasn't sleeping. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was rehearsing in my mind, like telling my parents that I was going schizophrenic.
Right.
It felt so real. And for some reason, I didn't tell anyone about it, too, which was probably the hardest part about experiencing that. I feel like talking about it was the beginning of recovering it.
Of course.
But I'm
it
curious.
Always is. For anybody listening, it always is. Whatever the problem is you've had right now, I don't care if it's a therapist or a fan or a friendly or a Reddit subreddit or a group therapy or a forum. It all starts in sharing. You literally cannot, because I think what people don't realize is the pivotal part of sharing stuff like that is twofold. The first is hearing from somebody else their experiences or their vision of you or something like that can be very healing. More importantly, it's organizing your thoughts.
You need some outside
processing it, right?
influence because in your mind shit just gets worse and worse.
Even when you sit down, you walk into Alcoholics Anonymous, for example, and they make you introduce yourself and you talk about your stuff, even just that 3 minutes, it forces you to gather everything in your brain, all these loose threads that are floating around, and to put them into that 3-minute speech, and then you have a better understanding of yourself.
Right, exactly.
And so it all starts with talking. It really does. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all.
I think it's such an important.
No, I
message
agree so much. Like I held it in for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and it made it way, way worse.
Yeah.
And I think I was just embarrassed. I was embarrassed, and I felt like weak. And I think that's the only reason why I didn't talk about it. So I don't know. You just have to find someone to hear you out on it.
Yeah. Is that what it's like for you? I mean, what's your anxiety more like?
I don't know.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
It's.
I don't know. I'm still learning what's my anxiety because I'm having problems like all the time.
Ours is different.
It's different,
for sure.
yeah. It's different.
I have not self-diagnosed, very important, clinically diagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder.
See, that's some shit, yeah.
Right. And so I have social anxiety, again, clinically diagnosed social anxiety, but I learned to overcome that through exposure therapy, right? So
just get out there.
Just force myself to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm still miserable the whole time I'm doing stuff.
How does it manifest itself in you? Like when you say you're anxious, what are you feeling?
The most common for me is a dissociative state. So I will kind of hit eject on the brain. And
that's what I get, and it's the fucking worst.
Well,
dude.
it's actually a tool. I've been taught. It's actually a tool that my body used. So the very first time I ever disassociated was the very first time I ever got a near-death beating. And so my mom just wailed on me for a long time, and my body hit the eject tool to say, hey, you know what? This isn't happening. We're not here. This is not real. Nothing's here. And so for me, the way I describe it to try to get people to understand it, it's kind of like trying to control a video game character through a broken television that's in an aquarium. That's across the room, on another planet, depending on how disassociative I am, right? How far away I am from my own body. But it feels very much like the Matrix to me. I think that's one of the easiest ways to I feel like I'm jacked into this life and into this body. That's, and so...
What does that mean, though? That you just don't you don't care about stuff? You don't feel you feel like you're watching a movie or something?
I feel, that is not a bad description, but I do still very much care, right? But I think people who have dissociative states, those are the people that, snap one day and murder somebody. I'll never do that, right?
But how do you account for that? Because I'm just trying to conceptualize the thing. I think I have something different now that I hear you describe it.
I'm not really sure. That's very separate too by the PTSD. That's a symptom of the post-traumatic stress. So when we talk about post-traumatic stress, what happens there is a circumstance will happen in the room that I'm in. And that circumstance will trigger, I hate using that word, it's mostly because of you.
You can say it. You can say it.
But it will not trigger me I'm very offended.
And the actual,
but actually cause a chemical reaction in my brain that then my brain believes that the thing that happened to me then is happening again now. And so it'll trigger fight or flight. And it will begin to use all of the tools that it used to protect itself the first time. And what I perceive as reality is no longer reality. It will create that moment in my brain again. And so my brain is like, hey, this is happening to you again, whatever terrible thing it is
Crazy.
that I'm remembering. And then I'm experiencing it. And then I'll still have a very like cognizant awareness that I am here and that this is just a safe place and everything's fine. And so I have to fight my brain to calm down, to relax itself, to handle things, concentrate on my breathing, play with my fidget spinner, whatever.
Right.
Mostly, realistically, I serve social media. I try to distract myself. I carry a 3DS with me all the time. I carry my Switch with me most of the time now. Those are great distraction tools. And then just process all the chemicals in my brain until they're gone. And so that's the real two ways that the real two ways that I really, and then the dissociative state will kick in sometimes the PTSD does. And then that's just awesome because I just kind of sit there and just wait.
You like it in a way.
It can be very useful, yeah. It can be very, very useful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So my thing that I get, it's called like, it's like a brain fog, like depersonalization, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's almost like a bad high. I get like brain fogged and I don't feel like myself.
I would say that's like level 1 of what I'm experiencing.
Okay.
I'd say like I'd say that's like how I spend 90% of my time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
The worst is like, because if I get that feeling like before I come on this show, I get like super in my head. Or like before I have to make a video or I have to work, and I'm like, I can't do it because I feel like I'm not funny. I'm in my head. I feel like I'm just high, and I'm like paranoid. Yeah. I'm super sensitive to everything, and I just feel like I can't perform. I can't be myself. And that to me is the scariest, worst part is that I can't be me. You know? That shit fucks me up. I hate it so much.
Again, through therapy, what I learned to do is I learned to basically try to not create a persona because that leads people to believe I'm disingenuous. And I am genuine, to try to figure out who and what I am, who I want to be specifically, and then to push through the anxiety and to push through the fog there and project that person, right? And so, like, who are you, Steve? Like, really? Because here's the thing. You're not a body. You're not a dissociative mind. You're not a victim. You're a person. You have personality. You have quirks. You have wants, feelings, desires. Figure out who you are, and then we're going to learn how to project that through the shit. And that's what we did. That's how out of all the therapy I went through, and I must have been through 20 years of it, maybe 2 years of it was good. And that's really frustrating because a lot of people go, I went to therapy and it doesn't work. And it doesn't most of the time. But it's all like little small pebbles, right? You know, therapy isn't a rock. Therapy is a bunch of grains of sand. Every day, every session, every whatever. It adds up after a lifetime. Right. You know, for me, that's how it worked anyway. But yeah, that was one of the best things in the world. So I tend to, one of the reasons I think I'm so good at performing and why I'm good at performing the Francis character without taking a break, without ever having a break, is I learned how to project that personality, and that kind of is what an actor does. Right. And that leads people to think that I'm disingenuous, and maybe on some level that is true, because if I were genuine, I would be comatose most of the time, just not speaking, right? But this is who I want to be. Yeah. So even tonight, when I've gotten nervous, I'm just like, I just got to be me. I just got to let me be me, and just let everything settle.
It's true. A lot of the fear I have is like this self-aware fear, where I'm like, oh my God, I'm not me right now. Instead of just like being, just accepting that you don't feel good, and just being like, okay, well, I don't feel like myself. And then like the panic sets in, and that freaks me out, right? So just being like, okay, I don't feel good. Don't think about it. Just go with it. That kind of solves half the problem, right?
I will tell you a secret, actually. So I live stream on Twitch. Yeah. And one of the reasons I wanted to live stream on Twitch was to practice exposure therapy for my anxiety. Because the very first time I went live, I lost my mind with anxiety. Really? I was terrified. Oh my God, there's like 15 people watching, and they're judging me right now. My God. And it just like wrecked me a little bit. And so I would stream on YouTube a little bit, but it was hard for me to find an audience on the YouTube channel for some reason. And I really wanted the game. And when I started to move to Twitch, it was when gaming still was not. You had to sign up for MCN. It took like 30% of your income. And so Twitch will let me do it without any problem. They'll pay me to do it instead of me paying somebody else for the right to play games. So I'll do that. And so Twitch became this like therapy thing for me. And sometimes I will have a nervous breakdown. I will cry in the bathroom floor for 20 minutes. and then get up and walk in and stream. And if you ever watch my stream, the nights that I'm playing Bo Burnham music, it generally is me psyching myself up prior to the show, playing Bo Burnham. To just get ready to do
That's
it.
crazy.
If you hear the Kanye rant, it's because I'm psyching myself up to do it.
But that's a great attitude.
but it's
That's
like-
that's super important. Like, I think a lot of people struggle with anxiety and depression, and like what I would say to them, and I think there's really only one answer is like you can't give into it. You
Yeah.
can't just lay in bed
Right.
and just wait to die. You have to fucking push yourself out of bed
And that's
do
true.
your thing.
And that's true of literally whatever problem you have, right?
Kind
like,
of, yeah.
I think when I think of like Ricky Berwick, you know Ricky from
Yeah.
Twitter, right?
Oh yeah.
Like Ricky could easily be a victim for what's going on in his
Dude.
life, right?
Yeah.
Like he
That
could
guy's
easily just
killing
be
it. He's so-
just sitting
yeah.
in a corner, feeling miserable for himself,
Yeah.
right? But he's taken what his life has handed him and not only just accepted it,
Yeah.
but embraced it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
turned a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just and it's having, as far as I can tell, having an incredible time doing it.
Yeah, I
and I
agree.
love every second of it. He loves every second of it. And I think that's somebody who could have very easily been paralyzed by the fear,
Absolutely.
or paralyzed by the things that hold him back.
Yeah.
And I think that's all life is, right? Like I was a shut-in for 7 years, and you know what I got out of that? I lost 7 years.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything out of that.
Right.
I didn't heal. I didn't get better. I didn't feel better. Nothing nice happened to me during that period of time.
That's amazing.
I just played a bunch of
7 years,
EverQuest.
dude. Oh, EverQuest?
Yeah.
That was my shit, dog.
That
Yeah, we
was-
need to bond on EverQuest.
What server?
No wonder you lost
What
7
server? What
years
server?
of your
Did
life.
You play EverQuest? What server?
Fuck, what was it? It was no, I played so hard. I lost my entire childhood to EverQuest, dude. What was the name? It was a PvP team.
I want to give a
PvP.
shout out to the. I want to give a shout out to the Prexus server. I want to give a shout out to
Wait, Proxy?
Prexus, Prexus. Remember, all the servers were named after the gods of the game.
Valentuck or some shit. I don't remember.
Val and Zach, were you on Val and Zach?
Val and Zach, yeah.
Yep.
Val and Zach team PvP.
Yeah, wow.
Dude,
I-
I was on that
That's
shit.
too big of a
Me-
pussy to play.
It was great.
Play on a PvP server. But yeah, I dove in EverQuest and did not come out for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
I had to go from EverQuest to World of Warcraft. But then, because I mean, EverQuest didn't last for
So when did you
7
come
years.
out of the shell? Was it during the WoW age?
In 2005. I
Just
realized I had not had sex with another person for 7 years.
that was the calling.
And the last girl I'd had sex with, we were together off and on for like 6.5 years.
Right.
And she was getting married.
Mm.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't know if that's why I've been harboring all of this shit or not. But here's the thing. I don't want to die alone.
Yeah.
And I looked around. I'm like, how alone am I? I have a roommate, and we're friends, and I've burnt every other friend bridge I had. So I'm going to make one of them MySpace accounts I hear so much about.
Oh.
And I put myself out there, and I met a few girls through there and went on a few first dates, but they go pretty badly. You know, when you're like, hey, so here's the thing. I don't want to have kids because I'm afraid I might punch them. So that's not a bit of a turn on. But I met a girl out of like Memphis, Tennessee, and my brother had a place in Memphis. He had raising his family down there. So I packed up one day to stay a weekend with my brother and met the girl. And she's like, do you want to go to downtown Memphis? And I'm like, absolutely not. That sounds like a horrifying experience. We should go. And like we rode the duck boat. And I'm like, this is so much better than what I've been doing for the last 7 years. This is so much better than just
Wow.
sitting there waiting to die. So even though I'm terrified, and even though this is painful, because I did not fit on the duck boats, those are tiny little fucking seats. I was just glad I did it. And so
That was the beginning
Yeah.
of the whole thing.
we and her dated for a while, and she was my excuse to get out of the house for a while, and we ended up breaking up, and I ended up playing Magic the Gathering again, went back to that game, got me into my local gaming store every Friday night, and then I started judging Magic tournaments. And
Magic's
then-
like the good version of EverQuest.
well, it's
Get
like
you out of the house.
right, yeah,
You
exactly.
get to interact with people in the world.
Gets you spending like $100 on a single piece of paper. Oh god.
Oh yeah, the dream.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, we started going back to Pro Tours and stuff, for Pro Tour qualifiers, and really like the Grand Prix, and I was like, man, I don't know why I ever stopped doing this.
I wish I played Magic. I never learned how to play that game.
It's a great game.
It
It's
seems super
expensive,
fun.
and sometimes it has its ups and its downs. I played it now for 24 or 25 years, since 1994. I came in January of '94.
Wow.
So I played it probably at least once a week.
What
that
is it?
entirety of my life.
What is it about the game that you love so much? Is it like Super strategic.
That's exactly it. It's like I don't know, when you build a deck, it's like very personal. The deck that you've chosen to build. If you're playing Commander, like the Commander you choose, or the standard deck that you're playing, or whatever. And then there's the social aspect. Every good person I've met, other than like maybe one or two people I met over a game of Magic, the person who kept me from literally being homeless, the guy who gave me the dorm room to sleep on, and ended up becoming one of my best friends, who lives with me and my wife still to this day. I've known him for 20-some years. I met him over a game of Magic.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, we have 20, 25 people come over to my house on Saturday night, and they've all been hand-picked people. You know, sometimes they're plus ones, but for the most part, they're all been hand-picked people that I picked over a game of Magic. And I'm like, that should be one of the persons that tries out our little group.
Interesting.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I want to play Magic.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to play
and
it.
the game is really fun too. But I mean, that's when somebody will ask me every once in a while, how does an adult make friends? I'm like, do you have a local gaming store in your town? Because if you do, show up.
Right.
And pick a game, maybe Magic. That's probably the most popular one there. But pick a game and play it with people.
You think generally Magic players are more like are welcoming and warm people?
It depends on your community. Our community was always super cool, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that I live in Northwest Arkansas, which is absurdly progressive. Like one of my favorite stories about how progressive Northwest Arkansas is, and it's not like in an obnoxious way. It's not like we're talking like people rioting on campus kind of way. It's just everybody just kind of. Well, okay, so let's talk about progressivism for just a second. Can we do this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So I grew up in the 80s and 90s, right? And so progressive in the 80s and 90s was all about tolerance. It was all about tolerating other people, right? Like there's Muslims in your neighborhood. You should probably just be okay with that.
Yeah.
Just focus on just learning to be okay with that. And your son might be homosexual, and you just need to learn to focus on being okay with that. Okay,
Yeah.
like you don't have to like champion them. You don't have to do anything else. Just accept that.
Right.
And also, hey, if you happen to be gay or you happen to be Muslim, and you live in an area with bigots, you got to tolerate bigots because they're people too.
Right.
And like that was just the whole kind of premise of how I grew up. And so Northwest Arkansas still kind of just lets people be people, right? And so if you go to like the drinking strip in my town, it's law bar, sports bar, gay bar, sports bar, the transsexual bar that has the drag shows, chicken wings.
Right.
You know, and like everybody just does their thing. Nobody really cares.
Right.
And so, like when we had a Pride Parade in Fayetteville about a year and a half ago, my friend Olivia, who's trans, she marched in it. And my wife got this beautiful picture. She tweeted out on social media, and it's a protester, and the protester's wearing like a shirt, like protesting the whole gay rights thing. And Olivia says, "Could I hug you?" And he goes, "Well, of course you can hug me. Why wouldn't I want to give you a hug? I just don't want you to go to hell. I'm worried about you burning in hell. Like, we don't have any personal problems.
Right.
It's just my book says that you will burn in hell, and I don't want that to happen to
He
you."
actually cares. It's a care. It comes from a place of compassion.
Right?
That's
like,
weird.
We don't have a lot. We have like maybe like one hate preacher who shows up every once in a while.
Right.
But like, I don't know. It's a great area. So our Magic community has just always been like very, hey, let's just concentrate on the game. You're Republican. I'm a Democrat. You're black. I'm white. I'm fat. You're skinny. Who cares? This game's fun. Do you like this game? Sure. You want to have dinner after this? Yeah, let's have dinner. That's cool. We'll play some more there. It's not always that way, you know. Especially,
I have a hard time imagining a Magic the Gathering community being like a bunch of like dicks. I don't know why. It just doesn't make like.
Every once in a while, you get the tryhards, right?
Yeah,
you get
they're
the guy
just super
like,
serious about the
game. He
game.
can't handle losing.
Got it.
And like, I can't believe I lost your shit.
Yeah, I can see
Those
that.
old men are screw. And you get the guy who's just kind of like, I know every once in a while you get that guy who's very about his thing.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm very Republican. I'm very Democrat. I'm very progressive. I'm very bigoted. Right? And that guy, like, it supersedes the game. But then that's just like a personal problem. That has nothing to do with
definitely.
the game. That's just a guy who's like, who's really too deep into identity politics.
When you come together for Magic, like you do tournaments, like gatherings,
yeah, like
people,
right? Like our local store, the one I go to is like Gear in Fayetteville, and they do like 2 or 3 events a week. So
how many people at an event?
It depends. Like, it could be as small as 8, and I think like for their pre-releases, they'll get like 120.
Wow!
And it's
like
uncomfortable at that store, like 100 some people. But
interesting.
Yeah. And then like if you go to like a Grand Prix, like Grand Prix Las Vegas just took place.
Yeah.
And I don't want to guess a number here because I don't want to be that off. But we're talking tens of thousands of registrations.
This is a huge tournament.
Like, yeah, we're talking
and
massive
Is there an
VidCon
entry
sized.
fee?
Yeah, like a massive entry
How
fee.
much? What is the entry fee?
Like for the last Grand Prix I played in, I paid like $80, and I'm sure it's more expensive these days.
$80.
Wow.
So what does first place take home on something like that?
Tens of thousands.
Damn. So is there professional Magic the Gathering players?
Absolutely right.
Wow.
Yeah. And there are professionals. People stream it professionally. There's people who go on the circuit who also stream it professionally. There's people like there's one guy who's a trust. Well, he ended up putting money into like some sort of stockbroker thing. He invests stocks for other people, and like so he's rich, but he just likes the game. So he just like shows up and like takes other people's money and laughs about it.
Doesn't care about it.
Yeah, and like it's just like any other esport. There's a lot of personalities doing the things that they do, and they're heroes sometimes, and they're villains other times, and everybody bitches about the state of the game, and it's fun to just complain about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I hate esports, but Magic's the one I can kind of tolerate. Like I want to hear about the deck he played, I want to hear about him,
Right.
But I want to hear about like what deck's winning. Oh, what card they ban because of the Pro Tour? What card spiked?
That's interesting.
So, usually when we have a guest on, we ask
ghost
them.
stories?
Yeah.
I know. This is a weird tradition. We always ask about ghost stories.
I have a ghost story.
Great. I want to take another quick break.
I think we have to end after that because I have the thing.
Oh, we have to wrap
afterwards.
it up. Okay, we have to wrap it up.
Okay.
So let's end on the classic spooks and goofs. This is the most random thing. Me and Ela are super skeptical people. We don't really believe in ghosts. But somehow everyone we've had on the show has like really fascinating supernatural / ghost stories.
Okay.
So we always throw it to the guests. You got any spooks and goofs for us?
I feel weird about this.
You
one.
also don't have to have a
No,
story.
I do. And okay. So I grew up dabbling in a variety of Christian religions. My mom wanted to expose me to as many as she could.
Christian religion?
Christian religions, like there's
Like all the different little...
Pentecostal and Methodist and stuff like that.
Right.
Pentecostal, easily my favorite, because we went to this Pentecostal church and it was all about the Holy Spirit touching you and coming inside you and talking tongues,
hell
and making you
let's
dance
go.
and flop on the floor and stuff.
I've seen that shit.
Fascinating.
Dude,
to
when
see
I
in real
watched
life.
that, I'm like, this doesn't look Christian. This looks demonic.
Right, yeah,
This is like the
right.
Jesus camp stuff.
And so
Yeah.
like there's even like, which there's even like exorcism stuff in my history because my mom was like crazy, and so, but that all to me, I'm a victim of Munchausen syndrome. So how much of that is bullshit, right? Like how much of that is just story schema to manipulate me, right? I don't know. But here's something I can absolutely tell you beyond the shadow of a doubt that happened to me. So my mom passed in 2009, and I always wanted to be the good kid, you know, and I was the only one that would do anything for her, you know, even though I got the worst of it. I for whatever reason, I could see the heart out of monsters, and I wanted to be there for her when she died. And so I get a phone call one day, and they're like, your mom is about to pass at the hospital. If you want to be here, you need to come. And I pack up all my shit, and I go there, and I sat next to her, and I hold her hand as she dies. And, they give her morphine to help her go. I don't think a lot of people realize that. But they'll give you morphine in a lethal dose when they know you're going to die anyway.
A lethal dose?
Really?
Right, they'll give you a lethal amount of morphine to
Are
help
you
you
serious?
go. Yeah, that's something that's very common.
Wow.
I didn't know lethal.
Right. Well, enough to where it's really going to help.
Basically,
Wow.
you're not.
Right.
You're almost not even conscious at that point. Like,
Right.
You're not there.
Right. So, like in the case of my mother, all of her organs had shut down. She had 3 infections in her that were not reacting to antibiotics. She's absolutely going to die, and her heart is failing right now. So let's give her enough morphine to where when she dies tonight, she will die completely out of pain. She'll be completely unaware, completely comfortable.
Interesting.
And she's already in a medically comatose state at that point anyway.
Right.
So, held her hand as she died, and I'll tell you, I didn't know what to expect, but here's what happened. Nothing. Just nothing. She was alive 1 second, and she wasn't the next. And her body didn't change or transform in any magic way. There was no light. There was no poof. There was no wind. Nothing. The machines showed that her heart was beating 1 second, and they showed they were flatlining the next. That was it. And the nurses unhooked her, and I sat with her, and I sat with her, and I sat with her, and I, again, just kind of comatose. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, And they said, you can take as much time as you want. I'm like, okay, I don't know how much time I want. I don't know what I'm doing. But eventually my friend Chad, the guy who I told you helped me keep from being homeless and lives with us now, he was in the room, and he's like, Steve, we should go. We got to make arrangements. And I'm like, okay. And, we left and did everything that had to be done. And I came home, and I was playing World of Warcraft. I decided the way I was going to cope with her death was to throw myself back into that game, make a few friends, and just play that game like a drug until the pain stopped. And so that's what I was doing. And I always spent Christmas with my mom every year. And this is the very first Christmas I would ever spend alone. Now with my wife, the last Christmas I'll ever spend alone. I'm pretty happy about that. But in fact, in retrospect, it's the only Christmas I ever spent alone. Interesting. And I'm sitting there playing World of Warcraft, shirtless. I was so broke at the time. I didn't have an office chair. I had a stupid broken cooler I'd flipped upside down.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting there on this broken down desk, this broken down chair, and this old alien computer, and I feel a hand touch my right shoulder. Jump. And I realize it felt exactly the way my mom's hand felt when I was holding her.
Wow.
Now, me and my mom had this arrangement, and I have it with all my friends, I have it with my wife and everybody else. If there's an afterlife, you need to tell me. If there is any way you can communicate to me that there is an afterlife, you need to come and let me know so that I can stop being a fucking nihilist and get my shit together, okay? If it's Christianity, let me know. If it's Muslim, I need to fucking know. Whichever one it is, show up and tell me so I can start doing that, okay? So that's the deal. So I stand up and I look around the room and I go, Mom? Nothing. Mom? Nothing. So I sat back down and I type in the chat. I'm like, you're never going to believe what happened. And I felt the hand on my right shoulder again.
That's weird.
Oh.
So I knew not to turn around. I'm going to cry. I knew not to turn around because I know she's not going to be there anyway. And I know on some level that that's psychosomatic. I know on some level that's just me processing grief.
Where was it? Like here?
Yeah, right here on the right shoulder.
Got it.
And I know on some level it's psychosomatic. I know on some level it's just me, my brain processing the pain and figuring out a way to deal with it. And, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, do I know that? Like, do I know that's what it was?
Well, you have this deal with your mom. Do you think that she was fulfilling it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what that means. I wish I did. I wish there was a moral to that story. Right. I wish I could say I figured it out. It turns out we all have to eat spaghetti every Thursday, and that's how we get into heaven. I don't, but I still to this day I don't know what it meant. I don't know what it was.
That's wild.
I have spoken to one therapist about it, and that therapist has said you're probably right. It probably was psychosomatic. You probably imagined the scenario. Were you sleep deprived during that period of time? Like, well, I wasn't sleeping at all for like weeks. Yeah. So that's probably part of it. It's just the grief process that strikes us all every possible way. But who knows?
Well, it's really interesting. A lot of thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
A lot of the ghost stories are like just, there's no answer, but it's just,
there's no answer. You can think of reasons.
Usually it's
or
like
not.
Yeah. I've felt that before, where it feels like someone touched my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain it. It feels like maybe a spasm or something. Like maybe there's actually something in your body that feels like you're being touched.
What specifically struck me was her hand was cold as she died. And so it was very cold when
you
touched me.
felt a temperature sensation.
I felt a temperature sensation.
That's
it was
wild.
right. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Weird. Ugh.
That's
now I'm
crazy.
creeped out.
That's a crazy. That's a good ghost story, dude.
So good luck sleeping, everybody.
God
tonight.
bless. Thank you. Well, I'll tell you what. Thanks for joining us, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you for that ghost story. That was a legendary one.
Yeah.
That was a real spook.
That might be the top
That
one.
might be the top spookiest ghost story we've had.
Wow. Okay. Yay! I have to go find a compilation of the rest of them. Somebody make
Just
that
for
and tweet it to me
comparison.
tonight, okay?
It'll definitely come around. Anyway, I really appreciate you making the trip out here. It's been a real
thank you
honor
for having me.
to
I
have
have
you
no
in here.
idea.
It was awesome.
As soon
dude.
as you started announcing a podcast, I'm like, I'm going to be on that one day.
Dog.
That's a bucket list item right now, and I can't believe we scratched it off.
Yeah, we.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I
and you
really
can
appreciate it. Thanks.
come
man.
over again.
Do you guys
Oh
ever?
yeah, most definitely.
Do you guys do anything at VidCon? Why do you guys not?
Dude, I don't know.
gonna do anything this
I
year?
get the feeling we're not going,
Is
but
it-
we've never been invited. We've never been included
what it
in
is?
any way. Yeah.
I don't know how it works. Do you get invited or do you?
Well, I think so if you're with an MCN, I think sometimes your MCN will pitch your name, and if they're interested, then whatever. I just wrote the company like 4 years ago. And I'm like, hey, I've always wanted to go to VidCon. I think it's super cool.
Yeah.
And are you guys interested in me? Here's what I do.
Right.
And they're like, sure. And so here's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people think that. Like, everybody I ever talked to, like, why don't you try to go to VidCon on some level? And they're like, oh, I don't think they want me as a feature creator or whatever. You would have been so perfect for the copyright panel I did last year that I dropped your name several times during it, talking about your situation, talking about your suit, talking about FUPA, talking about the whole 9 yards. And all I could think that whole time was if
I didn't even know that was a thing. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. Nah. It's we've never really done. The first con we did was E3, and it was
Was that this year?
yeah, it was the
How was it?
recent one. We didn't make it inside actually.
Which is what happened.
We got there kind of late, and like we got there late. We had like an hour there, but we getting stopped so many times. It's like a perfect overlap, I think, of our fans.
Yeah.
But we were getting stopped so much that
It was
we
like
actually never made
walking
it
into
inside.
a fan meetup. Or
Yeah,
something.
pretty much. It was more intense than I
Isn't
thought.
it the best feeling in the world? I
It's-
swear it. That's my favorite.
It's
like,
amazing.
It's really flattering, but on the other end, like when it got to the point where there was like a full circle around us and people
Yeah.
kept lining up,
do we have enough time for one more
and
story?
I was like,
Yeah, sure.
I'm trapped.
I have such a good
I
story.
had no escape plan.
Okay, so last year I am at VidCon.
Yeah.
And the first year I went to VidCon, it was pretty cool. Like 1 out of 5 people recognized me, and 1 in 50 people sometimes. I could just go on the floor and like I'd take one selfie, and that would be it.
Yeah.
And the next year, a lot worse. The third time I was there was last year, and I could not go into a public area.
Right.
And if I did, I would literally get that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, security was mad at me because this was right after the Christina Grimmie shooting, and they're like super hyper aware, and they can't control that situation. So like, sir, you know you're not supposed to be near the public. I'm like, but it's the whole reason I'm here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And but you know, I mean, I didn't want to get uninvited, so I eventually started backing off. And if I did have to go through a public area, I'd be like, I'm sorry, we can't talk. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I'd apologize. Do stuff like this as I'm walking, or my little stupid mark card thing. So we, damn it, I lost my train of thought. So they do this little meet and greet on the convention floor, so we can connect with brands and brands can connect with us, because we weren't able to do that for the rest of the show.
Right.
And so I go back to the bar, and you never believe who's there. Markiplier, Jack, Septiceye, Jontron, all sitting there drinking. And I'm like, oh my God, this is 3 people right off the list. I can't wait to talk to all these guys. And we hang out for a little while, we talk. Shocked to hear, you know, Mark says some of the nicest things to me. So we end up, going to the concert that night. Gregory Brothers is playing. Hank Green's band is playing. My wife's favorite part is the concert. She's like watching her clock. Oh, we need to go. And I'm like, hey guys, we're gonna split. We're gonna watch the concert. You know, if you anyways want to come, oh, I'd love to. Everybody's super excited. So here's the thing. I'm used to my level of recognition. I'm not used to Jack's Septiceye.
Oh, Jack
level
and
of
Mark at
recognition.
VidCon? I can't even
Right.
imagine.
Wow,
That's
yeah.
like Beatles mania.
Yeah.
So they're like, shh, well, show us the way. So I show them the way, and it's all back of house until we get right to the concert. And I don't know that there's like a place for us to watch the concert. Me and my wife have always just watched it from the audience in the back.
Right.
So I lead them right into the center of the damn thing.
Right.
And
Oh
Mark
my
is
God.
smart enough to nope out. And John is
He's like, peace at this shit.
like, I don't know what happened to John because he was drinking a lot. I don't know if I saw him
I've heard
again there.
stories from him at VidCon. Apparently it was weird and wild.
But but Jack follows me in there.
Yeah.
And so Jack literally, Beatlemania. There are girls putting flowers in his hair. There are girls handing him stuffed animals. I don't even think they
it's a
brought
lot of
them for
girls?
Mark. It's all girls. It's all girls for Jack.
Wow.
I don't even think they brought the stuff for Jack. I think they're literally just taking things they own and giving it to him.
I've heard.
Here's my credit card.
Dude,
Oh
the
my
one thing I
God.
consistently hear about VidCon is that it's like super creepy.
It can be.
Because it's just a bunch of little
Wait, that's
underage
how it
kids
used to be.
fetishizing.
Right. That's how
All-
they're-
you know,
that
Yeah.
used to be all it was, like the 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's pretty much like a lot of the younger brothers and sisters of those girls have grown up, and so now there's a huge gamer audience, and there's it's very diverse now. But at 4 years ago, absolutely. But every girl that was at that concert found Jack.
That's
and so
crazy.
I look over at him at one point, and he looks at me like this, like, what the fuck have you done to me? I'm going to get shot, right? And he's so sweet that he's still signing away, and he's taking gifts, and he's like, oh, thank you, oh, and people are trying to kiss him, and they're trying to touch him,
Oh,
and I'm like,
God.
what have I done to him? So I walk over to the security guy, and I grab him by the shirt, and I said, dude, where's the green room? And he goes, hey, Boog, I don't know if you're allowed in the green room or not. I could find out, though. And I'm like, not for me, him. And I point to Jack, and Jack looks at the security guy like, I'm fucking drowning.
Yeah.
There's no escape.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
There's
kinda
he's
scary.
just stuck there.
Yeah.
So he then grabs the 2 biggest security guards he can find, and then they literally just save Jack.
That's
They just like part the ways. He's got to go. He's got to go. I'm sorry. He's sorry to go. And he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing it.
and
Oh,
you
well, you can't find my lucky
you
terms."
need to,
Right. And so
I'm sure that's what he said. Right?
we get him to the back, and this is why I like telling the story.
Yeah.
We get him to the back, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that it was going to be like that for you. We normally just watch it." But he goes, "Oh, it's not a big deal, Boogie. It's just I can't sign all those people. I can't hug all those people." And I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry to put you in that situation." He goes, "Well, it's not a big deal. It's just there's too damn many of them. I wish I could meet every girl here, but I just can't do it." And like I thought it was so sweet that he wasn't mad at me.
Yeah.
He's just frustrated.
He's frustrated that he literally can't hug that many people.
That's the situation.
How sweet is that?
It's great.
Yeah.
But you are confronted by this. It's way too much,
Yeah.
and you want to say hi to everyone. You want to take a selfie, but it's like you can't. You can't sit there all day. And the
Right.
best part is you need someone too to like have your back and be like,
That's-
hey, it's time to go.
And that's
Because
why-
you don't want to be the guy that's like, see,
Right.
I have to go now. You know.
And so it is overwhelming now, and that's why like Bernie asked me if I wanted to come to RTX Rooster Teeth, and I'm like, I don't think I can, dude, because I think I'm gonna get swamped. They don't really have like I was asked if he has like a lot of back of house stuff, and he's like, no, not really. We're just gonna wade through it. And I'm like, I don't know that I could do that with my social anxiety and stuff. And but what I try to think of something Markiplier said whenever I'm meeting fans. He said, you know, if I meet somebody at VidCon, it's probably the 1,000th person I met at VidCon. It's not important to me, and it's not that memorable to me. But that person might have bought a ticket just to meet me. That person is meeting me for the first and maybe only time. So I have to get it right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try to think. This isn't about me. I put myself in a
for
position
sure.
where it's not
Yeah.
about me anymore. It's about this person. So I'm going to ask them their name. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to get to know something about them. I'm going to try to remember them if I see them later at the convention. And it's overwhelming. It's just so overwhelming. But it's just, again, I have to sleep at night. And I got to know I did the right thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, I can't imagine being your level of fame and then trying not. You couldn't even get into the building.
Yeah, we didn't quite make. I think it would have been even worse in the building. I mean, I think we need to wear a disguise or something if we do that again.
Cosplay, right?
Yeah, cosplay.
Yeah.
Do a little Spider-Man Elsa. We'll fit
That will
right
get
in.
us
Oh,
more
yeah.
attention. I feel like.
All right, let's wrap. We got. Hila's got some appointment to go to.
Yeah.
So thank you, man. It was a
Hey, thanks for
joy. It
having
was
me.
an honor. It was a
A lot of fun.
privilege.
Again, if you guys want to check me out, youtube.com/boogie2988.
Yeah.
You might like my Francis sketches. It's
You
in the
will.
same vein, kind of, of your
Yes.
comedy.
Rants.
And you might also like what I do on Twitch because it is way stranger than what you do. I'll tell you that. It gets real fucked up.
Go to Twitch.
Really?
Check
Yeah.
out his Twitch. I'm gonna be watching shit. You're
Yeah.
selling it.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated.
I don't know. It's like just get ready to pucker your butthole the entire stream.
puckering.
It is pure cringe,
Oh, wow.
and I love it. I love every second of it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this little impromptu episode. Appreciate you guys coming on board and joining us here with Boogie. We will be back on Friday at our usual time with Steve-O. Spicy hot, spicy hot. We don't have a sponsor this episode, so the best way to support us, guys, Twitch Prime. Is that it? Did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
Twitch Prime, guys. If you connect your Amazon Prime with your Twitch account, you can give us free money every month, a free subscription. Did you know that?
I do.
This is amazing.
I love it, and I will
That's
tell you,
amazing.
that is where the majority of my Twitch income
By
comes
far
from.
ours.
It's
For
so
us
good,
too.
yeah.
Guys, it's
So
a
good.
free way to support us. Connect your Amazon account, which everybody has, Amazon Prime.
Right, exactly.
Free money every month. Thank you.
Yep.
God bless you guys so much. And if you guys go to represent.com/H3H3, you have 2 days left to buy this sick merch that Hila's wearing.
Why is everyone saying scrapbook in the?
Oh, is that something my mom? Because my mom said something about she wants everyone to sign the scrapbook.
Is that what it
These
is?
guys are ride or die. Shit. These guys are so ride or die. My mom made this scrapbook, and
Alright,
she
we'll
was
let you
asking me to
sign
have
it.
everyone
Let's
sign
get a
it.
scrapbook. Let's get the
But
scrapbook.
I love that they all remembered the
Everyone,
scrapbook.
like the whole
well,
set.
let's here. I'm gonna grab the scrapbook. Let's
Okay.
immortalize this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's my mom's gonna love
I feel like I
Yeah.
barely got to talk to you. I'm sorry. My mouth
Yeah.
just goes like this.
No, and my mouth goes like this. It doesn't say anything.
I've always been the
fun.
guy who talks when he gets nervous. So
Yeah, I know. I met people like that, and it's so funny to me. I'm like exactly the
Where does
opposite.
she want this sign? I don't get it because there's.
I think she said there's empty pages.
Oh my God, it's so ridiculous.
The ones
Look
at
at
the
this.
end.
Look at the resolution on this.
that's so bad. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
I want it
It's
so
exactly the way. I wouldn't want it to be any other way. That's so good.
She actually went to Staples and somebody printed that for her. Can you believe that? Is that amazing?
I want to be that guy whose job is weird.
Apparently they didn't
Is
bat
this
an eye. They're just
PewDiePie?
like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She's gonna do one for you now. And
Oh,
put
yeah,
it in
you're gonna be
sugar for you.
pixelized by my mom now. Look at that. Look
insane.
at the resolution on that.
You know, honestly, if you do that to me, I'm just going to look normal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look thin. I'm just going to look super normal. It's so
There's
good.
All right, here, let's see. What have you done, Mom? Here you go. Okay, here. Jesus. Okay.
Yay.
So
This is for the stream.
For you
This
to
is for
sign
Mom,
it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yay.
Nice. You got your wish. There it
Look at
is.
this. It looks like an 8-year-old wrote it. If you ever get my signature, if you ever want to fake my signature, just
You
have
should
a stroke
There.
and then do it with your offhand.
Those are the
what it
best
looks like.
signatures.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love the shadow on that too, by the way.
that's
Whole
good.
thing. It's just mad. All right, guys. It's been a laugh. It's been a gaff. There's been some spooks, some goofs, lots of spooks, incidentally. Tons of spooks.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see you guys on Friday. Thanks for watching. Papa bless.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Cut it.